All right, my dudes, welcome
Okay, go ahead.
to tonight's episode of Storm King Thunder, where me and a bunch of my nerdy ass friends get together and we play Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and
Dragons!
Dungeons and Dragons.
Tonight is session 11 of our campaign. We are very happy to welcome back Brandon, who is absent for a couple of weeks. We also have a few of our friends who are going to be joining a little later. We have, oh my god, Zatari Josh, who is going to be, who's caught up and will be in, hopefully, about halfway through the session, if not a little before. I have not heard from Bergin, so if one of you don't mind to drop something in chat while I'm doing a recap.
I'll just hit him up in chat instead of messaging him.
Yeah.
What are the material components to summon Bergin?
If it's Spencer himself, it's like
I know.
a bong, some munchies, and like
Yeah, you need a small
pizza dough.
statuette of Squidward. Yeah.
Accurate. Make sure that gets a timestamp. We need to make sure he gets that next week. Last week on our adventure, the party had taken on two lumbering hill giants, Boudreaux and Thibodeau, who had wandered into Golden Fields in pursuit of food, along with a band of goblins, bugbears, and ogres that they had sort of rallied for their cause. The party had a rough fight with it. There was a lot of not infighting, but friendly fire, we'll say. And they, after some blows were dealt, the spellcasters sort of stole the hour, polymorphing one giant into a possum so they could focus on one target. And then, once they finished that one target, using suggestion to have the other one believe that, you know what? Guh, the chief of the hill giants, is really who's to blame here. And so, for the next 8 hours, that hill giant stumbled his way across the terrain of Faerun, heading back to wherever he came from. Afterwards, the party made some very powerful allies. Speaking with the abbot and Ji Liang, they were able to come to an agreement of A, Strahd was completely incompetent and needed to be replaced. B, Ji Liang was the perfect candidate for it. And C, that both of the cities were better off if they forged some type of alliance, and the terms of which she worked up and everyone found quite agreeable, including making a road between Golden Fields and Nightstone to make this journey that would normally be about 7 days, I think on the short end, closer to 3 or 4 days, which is a significant improvement, especially if you're trying to get troops back and forth. They also received some advice, some leads, I'll say, from a few of their other allies. Saphyne had told you of a Fey Portal that had been opened up, she believes, by dark creatures known as the Fey'Ri, the result of demon spawn and elven lines. She had also given you a trinket, a small iron, sort of glowing blue trinket adorned with a leather cord that would help you find and seal this portal. Naxine had told you of a dragon within the Kryptgarden Forest, old Gnawbone, that she believed would be knowledgeable on what was going on with the giants, why they've become so aggressive, and be able to lead you in the right direction and impart you with some much-needed wisdom. Liferlas, our friendly tree, was able to give a recommendation. He said that the druid that had awakened him, Aerglas, had left Golden Fields many, many years ago, heading north along the river and into the high forest, where he was seeking out Shadowtop Cathedral, a location that he believed he would be able to find the Treant Turlang, who he believed would be able to give him guidance. And Orin gave Davos a list of bards that he had come across within his journey, and that he believed would be excellent additions to their band, should they want to reform one. And then, last but not least, Miros Zelbrin had told them that he was eager to join their cause with the Lords of Nightstone and help rebuild the keep. In fact, given where we are now and how long you guys know the journey to take, they have arrived at Valkyr, Orin, and Miros have arrived at Nightstone and hence begun that sect of repairs. Anything I left out, my dudes? Anything you guys want to pop back up with a reminder on?
Good.
All right. In the final moments before we finished our session, the party had arrived to the edge of this Fey Portal, deep within the woods, led by the Trinket pulling at their neck, and had gotten just so close to where Sirius, his scales, the hind of his neck had risen up as he let loose a low growl, obviously put on edge by some magical force in the area. Testing out this mysterious circle of mushrooms and shimmering air, Taliban had thrown in a psionic knife, which, upon going across the line of mushrooms, flickered out of existence. Looking to see, well, maybe that was just psychic magic. Maybe physical things can pass this space. Tally went to throw an arrow through, and a gray hand had emerged from the portal and snatched the arrow. Long black fingernails, long dark hair, twisted horns, exaggerated features, ears like an elf's but much, much longer, eyebrows that extended beyond the face, uncomfortably large maw of razor-like teeth, two large wings with hooks on the edges of them, and a long chitinous tail, almost like a scorpion's tail. He took an instant to look you all over before lunging toward Taliban with a black steel rapier. And that, my dudes, is where we are going to pick up tonight's session. First and foremost, as we are short a couple of people for the moment, can I get some volunteers to run Zatari and Bergin? Yes, those are the only two we're missing.
Let me see what sheets I can access.
Well, she...
My campaigns. I can do any of the above.
We're picking up alternates?
Yes, sir.
Full disclosure, I'm pretty sure that Zatari would hate that if I ran his character.
I feel that's on brand for Josh, so yeah, I would say you're right. I mean, you're more than welcome to, of course. Yeah, Zatari and Bergin are the two that we need covered right now.
I'll take Bergin.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know cleric stuff. That's probably a good idea.
I can take some part.
All right. Excellent.
I'm familiar with these I shouldn't say homebrew. It's content now.
I should also mention that as the Fae had emerged, two Dryads,
There we go.
which Taliban and Goldbrand would recognize from living in the High Forest. But there's Spencer. We were just talking about the components we would need to summon.
Squidward statue was it. Bold and brash is how you summon a Spencer.
Bold and brash. We also decided a bong and some munchies would be a good offering. So, thank you for being here, my dude. Good to see you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm pretty sick, so just bear with.
No, you're fine.
Same.
I'm about to say he's feeling pretty
Six
shitty
squad.
too. Six squad.
Not me, but y'all. Six squad.
We have just started our session. You guys are at a Fey Portal that Saphyne had given you directions to, and that the amulet she had given Taliban had started to pull towards. A very demonic-looking creature with long horns, exaggerated eyebrows, razor-sharp teeth, hooked wings, and a long chitinous tail had stepped from this portal, as well as two Dryads, which some of you are familiar with Dryads in the living in the forest of which you call home, but these are terribly twisted. Instead of the green energy that you typically associate with them, it's red. There are embers that sort of singe at their body. The wood is blackened, their features distorted. The deep-set eyes, though there are no eyes on a druid, seem to emit a dull glow, as if from a smoldering campfire. In fact,
They're extra dryads.
they are... Shut the fuck up. Ah!
For red Dryad, use Clarads.
Shut up. I hate everyone here. I'm going to drop one of these in the... I'm going to drop one of these in chat, just so you boys can see this, because...
I'm assuming we need to roll initiative.
Yes, you may go ahead and start rolling.
That's Zatari. Let's go, Brand. God
Roll
damn it.
initiative.
Ouchie.
Oh, that's a good. That's a good. Zatara, you said was 14.
All right, going last.
Davos. Bergin. Wolbrand. Love how you don't even have a plus to it. It's just 1.
Mhm.
And 10.
I'm too old to be dexterous.
I am going to go ahead and delete Valkyr because for some reason he's on here. I thought I took him out of the thing, but that's okay. And with that, my dudes, let's get down to some fucking business.
Fucking business.
First and foremost, this Fey'Ri, as you've come to learn, as he emerges from this portal, before he begins his initial lunge, he lets loose that smile, and he takes glance at Goldbrand, and he says, "You don't want to be on the wrong side of this one, and I need you to make a wisdom save."
Bitch, excuse me?
Is that a dissonant whisper?
Bitch, what'd you say?
Beautiful.
Fucking excuse me.
You feel a presence sort of try to come over you. Your body grows a little stiff as this uncomfortable energy sort of tries to affect you. But you, very keen of mind, very wise, recognize this and shake it off before it can take hold. But you are aware that it had attempted to charm you. He's also going to cast Lightning Lure at Talaband. You watch as instead of the traditional electric blue and white, it's a red and sort of dim. The whip itself is a dark black, almost seemingly made from shadow, but the lightning upon it is red, and he lashes out and it wraps around your wrist, Talaband, and he begins to pull you toward him. Roll a strength check for me. Strength save, excuse me, not a check. 16. You do take.
Oh wait, sorry.
You do take.
My Wi-Fi is slow. It's making me double click shit.
Double tap.
You're fine. You do take 3 lightning damage, but he does not manage to pull you any closer. He gives a grimace and y'all look like y'all don't quite know what forces you're reckoning with. And then the Dryad to his right is going to fire off a Burning Hands. And that's a 15-foot cone. She's going to come right here. Davos and Tally both make a dex save.
I love your alien with the gun. Like,
it's the closest thing I could
it's
find.
like,
Without...
no, I feel you.
I had not timed.
I'm sorry. Did you say Goldbrand too? I'll make that
dex save. Yeah.
Distracted.
Yeah,
I have advantage on this because I can see it.
Tally was so pissed about those nat ones the other day.
Yeah, he was.
Talaband, you leap from this area as you see this Dryad comes up, and its hands are ashy and white and seemingly look like they're very fragile. Like if you were to, like the part of a charred piece of wood where if you were to touch it, it would just crumble beneath your fingers. And as they raise up, the embers upon their shoulder and their eyes seem to grow brighter as this burst of flame emerges from them. And you living in the high forest know, Dryads and fire do not mix. This is completely foreign to you. While both of you do pass the save, both of you do take 5 fire damage, as you still take half. The Dryad, a little frustrated that it didn't find true purchase, hisses as the sound of a hot surface meeting water, and we are going to go to Bergin.
Oops. Oh, there we go. All right. Let's see. I am going to step right here. As a bonus action, I'm going to Shield of Faith on Tally.
Nice.
And then take a swing at this dude. But first things first, I suppose. Where's that shield of faith?
I know the effect, so you don't have to pop it in chat or anything. As long as you mark off your spell slot, you're good.
Okay.
That's a +2 to Taliban's AC until the start of Bergin's next turn. So Taliban, remember that for me, my dude.
Are these a sort of fiend?
Or
No.
I mean, you can't tell initially by looking at them. If you want, I'll allow you to make a nature or a religion check.
Bergin rolled a 24.
You do pop the shit out of that Dryad. Go ahead and roll some damage for me, man.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good roll there, Bergin.
Yeah. I don't count on them. Staying consistent.
We're due some fucking good rolls, though. God dang.
You're right, though.
All right, I can't wait to ruin that streak.
Go. Are you rolling history or wisdom or nature or wisdom, my dude?
I was gonna wait till my turn.
I mean, you can go ahead and go
it's
now, like
relevant.
in this sort of,
Okay.
in the early
Alright.
stages of this, just to, I won't cost that in action just to recall that knowledge. 14, you know that that Dryads are not typically fiends. You think that they're Fey. You're not quite certain, but you know that they're not part of the celestial or the fiendish circles. But this one is foreign to you. It is, something has corrupted it, and you cannot quite tell what that influence is. Bergin, you with your left hand with your gauntlet with the Eye of Helm in it, you make a quick somatic motion, and you see almost light armor, literally made from light, sort of seems to settle on Taliban, giving him a little extra protection, and fades from sight after you finish your components. But you take your mace and with a mighty swing hit the Dryad in the center of its chest and splinter the wood a little bit. Oh wait, that's bludgeoning damage. A mace, I imagine.
That is. Yeah, it is.
She resists it.
That's half, isn't it, or something like
Yeah.
that?
She resists.
Yeah,
It doesn't
sorry for
take
that.
as much purchase as you would like, but as you pull your mace back, where you hit, you can see sort of even though this wood was splintered, you see it like just start to not quite ignite, but just glow dully as it was catching ember as well. Zatari, what you got?
Can Zatari move through the trees to his left to get a shot on this her Dryad? He don't want to get too close,
Yeah,
but he does want to flank, quote unquote.
These are trees, so the actual leaves are several feet off the ground. You can travel under them, except for where the center trunk
He wants
is.
to get like this here.
Yeah,
he does not want to be in that cone. I can't move him. If that cone happens again, he's going into. He gets to do this twice. Wow.
Oh, Pepperbox special.
Yeah, buddy. Pepperbox special.
The second one hits. Go ahead and roll some damage for that. 4 piercing. Sweet. Never mind. I see it there now.
Yeah. Neat.
She does not have resistance against that. All right. Anything for the bonus action, my dude?
Nope.
Zatari comes up and pop, fires off 2 quick shots with his gun as he does a little bit of damage. Doesn't seem to, about as much as, it doesn't seem to have resisted the attack, but doesn't seem to be quite being as effective as he would like either. This Dryad comes over here, takes just about a step forward, is going to try to get Goldbrand, Tally, and Bergin in this next cone. All 3 of you, please make a dex save. 19, 17. Oh no, both of those.
Those are both mine. I can see that too.
Ooh. All right, Spencer, take 11 damage for me. The other 2 of you take 5. As this, again, the white withered hands sprout forward and shoot out this burst of flame. Taliban and Goldbrand, having just narrowly dodged the first blow, are a little more on edge, and Spencer, distracted with the other Dryad, gets peppered a bit with singeing flames that sort of sear across your armor and catch your cape a bit. That is going to bring us to Talabundo.
Hunter's Mark on this Dryad.
Yeet.
And I will. I made a fancy thing for my new +1 blades. There we go. How about that?
Oh, get it, son. Yeah, roll that damage.
So damage, and then that is also going to be a sneak.
What? And this is psychic damage, yes?
Yeah.
Correct.
Gotcha. Nice. Damn, son. 18, 20. Yeah, 20. You watch as Tally throws, or after, like, I guess your eyes just sort of narrow in and focus as you make this creature your target and you let loose a psionic blade. And perhaps it's because you're close to the Fey Portal. Perhaps it's because you are reminded of the terrors that you had to endure and the misery that this has caused you since. But you just feel an extra burst of energy as this newly empowered, very keenly thrown blade flies through the air and strikes the Dryad right through the side of the head. And again, no splintering of wood, no breaking open, but you watch as the eyes flicker and it falls to the side, limp and lifeless.
Boom.
Yes. Yes.
Bonus action was for Hunter's Mark, so Davos' turn? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Get it, boy.
I'm going to run up and attack him with some rapier.
Get him. Swing, swing, son. Swing, swing.
I'm assuming
Ooh.
11 just as a critical hit, so.
Oh,
I
yeah,
will roll
100%.
damage.
Yeah.
All right.
Unfortunately not. Anything for your bonus action, my dude?
Yeah. I'm gonna do some light Elethander here.
Oh.
Ooh.
I will. So, I'm trying to remember. Is that a 15-foot cone?
Yeah.
15-foot
never
cone?
mind.
You could. 5, 10, 15. You can't quite get both of them at the moment. So you
Am I
can.
gonna hurt my team?
You can angle it to where you avoid hitting your team members, but right now they're not quite close enough for you to get both of them in the same blow with that. So if you want to save
I'll
it,
go with that.
you can. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and roll that for the first one. They have to make a save. I forget if it's a con save.
Fuck. Yeah, 12.
12 con save. They don't have a great con. Ooh, but she rolled a nat 20. Does she still take half? I'm trying to remember. She's not blinded.
Half as much on a successful check and not blinded.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your
It's,
damage. Oh, 7.
1d6,
So
which was 7, is what I rolled
gotcha.
with my charisma.
So half of that is going to be 4 because we round in favor of the player. You watch as Davos' amulet begins to glow bright again and sends out this blinding radiance. The Dryad hisses as she pulls back, but a creature of fire and wood doesn't seem to be as bothered by it as the hill giants were. Goldbrand, your move, my dude.
Colbrand seeing Tally just like eviscerate one of these Dryads is gonna look back at the Fey'Ri and be like, I don't think yous knows who's your fucking Swifts. Second question. How can I use a bonus action thing as an action?
Are you wanting to use 2 bonus actions this round? Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
He's gonna rage and Starry Shape.
Okay. So you don't
Starry
deal
Shape
any.
first.
So you don't deal
he
any
has to
damage.
throw it when he makes it.
I would do rage first then, because otherwise you're gonna lose your rage if you don't get hit. Just DM advice.
Oh, fair. Okay. He'll rage, light up
Okay.
like a lighthouse, and throw his thing.
You watch as Goldbrand.
Disadvantage if I throw it at him.
You watch as Goldbrand takes a bit of stuff from. Or no, do you lick it off your blade? I forget what we decided on.
He snorts it in powder form.
You watch as Goldbrand's hand reaches for a pouch, and as he taunts this Fey'Ri, he takes in a deep breath of air, and as he opens his eyes, they're bloodshot. And you see the veins in his neck begin to bulge a little bit, and his whole form ignites in this glowing constellation that many of you are now familiar with. And he draws back an arrow from his wrist and fires off a bolt of light towards this the Dryad. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's not disadvantage, doesn't hit. That sucks.
It is technically a ranged attack. She's not really in a square. I feel like she's really more here, so you're good for the disadvantage part. But that does not make purchase.
Yeah.
Impressive display.
No dice.
The Fey'ri is going to turn to Zatari and say, "You know you're going to be on the hurting side at the end of this, aren't you, son?" And Zatari, please make a wisdom save.
Sorry, I clicked it. Nothing happened. Oof.
Loop.
That reminds me of a meme. Whenever anyone's talking shit, you say, you talk a lot of shit for a guy within cum shot distance.
Oh god. The D&D version is within smiting distance, but
There you go.
the cum shot one's a little.
We're gonna edit that one out for the kids. Don't worry.
No, that's recorded for posterity. I ain't going through and cutting out all the obscene shit we say. God damn, I would be editing all fucking week.
We'd have a 20-minute show.
Zatari, you guys watch as he sort of shakes his head a bit, and as his eyes open, they seem clouded, distant. And the weapon that he just had fired down at the Dryad, he turns to all of you within this perfect little shot. I will take over him for this next bit. He still has another action. So he takes his rapier, again, long black steel rapier with a sort of red and purple energy, and he throws it into the air. And you watch as about 15 feet above the ground it halts, pointed at you, and flies forward to strike Talaband. 16 plus 7. So yeah, that's a 23. That hits.
Uh-oh.
I'm assuming. My dude take 13 piercing damage.
Fucking A.
Oh yeah, he's. I can.
Fucking Alucard over here.
I have blades that fly too, son. Dryad A is deceased, so that is going to bring us to Bergin.
Okay, let's see here. Trying to figure out how exactly I want to do this because I keep forgetting you can only cast one spell at a time. So
Yeah, one spell and one cantrip.
yeah,
Cast
unless
Crypt.
that cantrip is a spell.
Well, spells use spell slots. Cantrips don't use spell slots. So you can use a spell and a cantrip in the same turn. Or you can use a spell and then a spell as a reaction, but not a spell as your action and a spell as a bonus action.
Even if said bonus action was healing word.
It's a first level spell? Is that right?
I believe so. Let me check.
Yeah, you couldn't use two spells.
Right, yeah. I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
I got some healing
I'm
too,
going
if you wanna do some
to
damage, Bergin.
I'm about to say everyone's still pretty well
Mace
together for
to
now.
the face. Mace to the face. Mace to the face.
yeah. The mace doesn't do a whole lot, unfortunately, but that's what I would do.
Pop him.
Does he like
Come up.
step on Zatari's
Yeah, so Saturday.
toes on the way? Like,
No. You did give me a reminder to sort of mark him as afflicted.
sorry. Goldbrand knows how charmed work, but it's not his turn, so I don't want to say anything.
You come around the corner and try to swing in the same manner, but again, not quite finding purchase. This one seems, now that you've killed its mate, a little more alert. You watch as Zatari comes over and you see him flick a switch, as many of you have seen before, on the side of his pepper box, as he fires off pepper spray and sends 3 rounds into the crowd.
Wait a second.
This is going to be for Bergin, Tally, and Goldbrand, respectively.
Oh, I guess I would know if this was charm person or charmed.
The Bergin and Goldbrand. Bergin take 9, Goldbrand take 3 damage.
3?
Yeah.
Oh, is it hit like multiple targets?
Yeah.
So is that 1 or 2? Since
You-
I'm right.
Oh, so, yeah, you do have resistance to it, so you are going to take... We roll in favor of the player, so just a 1.
Cool.
Bless me. I think that uses both his action and his bonus action. Yeah. Okay. That brings us to the Dryad, who is going to do a slight sidestep, allowing Davos to make an opportunity attack, if you still have your reaction, which I'm pretty sure you do.
I do.
Swing. Oh, that does not hit. You swipe out, but this Dryad, lighter on its feet than... Well, you haven't really been familiar with these types of creatures. Goldbrand and Tally, you notice it's a little lighter on its feet. There's less weight to it. And this Dryad is going to go with it raises its arm, and you see that part of it is very thick, and it comes to swing down on you, using it as a club to strike Bergin with an 18, which I think hits.
Yes.
Ooh. Yeah, that's 8 damage, my dude. As they
Okay.
just begin to wail on you this round. Jeez. Talibund, your move.
I'm going to switch Hunter's Mark to the Fey'ri. And I am going to go... These are 5-foot squares.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go 20 feet to here. Well, that's the tree's difficult terrain, I'm guessing.
No, because you're on the ground, unless you're wanting to climb the tree. The
I am
branches
wanting
are...
to climb the tree.
So you were here 5, 10, 15, 20. You could use all of your movement to get about 10 to 15 feet into the branches.
Okay. Even at 35 speed.
We'll say the 15.
I will do that, and then I will use the hide action.
Oh, Zatari is going to try to take a swing at you as you go by.
Asshole.
He's going to pistol whip you.
Is this a special charmed state?
Yes, sort of.
I was about to, I didn't think charm. I'll ask you about it later.
He does meet you with the pistol whip. 6 damage as you swing by. You see him sort of reloading his gun, and he doesn't even like as it's almost like a 6-shooter, like with a sling out, and as he goes to pop it back in, he just pops you with the hilt of it.
Thank you, Zatari.
Back to you, my dude.
What do I just roll a stealth for hide action?
You're just trying to hide?
Yeah.
You're a rogue, so you can do that as a bonus action. So yeah, go ahead and roll a stealth.
I thought it was a full-on action, not a bonus. It says actions in combat, disengage, dodge, hide.
Well, those are like anyone can use their action to do those things, but rogues can use their bonus action to do dash, disengage.
Right. Well, my bonus action's already been used to reset the Hunter's Mark.
Oh, I see. Yep.
So
Excuse me.
it'll be
Then
my
you can use your
primary action.
So go ahead and hide. Oh, yeah. You feel pretty well hidden within the tree. I mean, he sees where you went, but he doesn't know where within this tree that you are, which is pretty solid. Davos, back to you.
All right. Gonna do some guiding bolt to this Dryad.
Get him.
Level 1 spell.
Ooh, the 10 is to hit. Yeah. Unfortunately not, my dude. You fire off this
7
blast of
damage.
radiant energy, and it just seems to go wide. You feel almost as if the embers from this are emitting a smoke that makes it a little harder to quite pin down where it is and what is. Your eyes are burning a little bit from it having been in your immediate area. Do you have a bonus action you can use?
Sure, I'll do some bardic inspiration
Get him.
to shit. I guess tally. 1d6. Ability
Wait.
check, attack roll, or saving throw.
So when you make any
Thank
of
you,
those
sir.
3, it's just for 1, yeah? Or is it for the next round?
It just says for 10 minutes you can add it
For 10 minutes.
So,
Okay, sweet. So
for
yeah.
the rest of the fight.
Yeah, so you can add 1d6 ability, attack, or saving throw. Is that right? Ability check, attack, saving throw.
What did I just say? Ability check, saving throw. There was one more.
I think it was attack.
Attack roll, yes.
Gotcha. Solid. So as you disappear into the trees, you hear a little ditty that sort of gets stuck in your head as we round about to Golbrand.
Oh boy.
Welcome to the jungle.
Yeah,
Exactly.
full of rage.
We got Fey and Flames.
He's gonna move right up to well, he's gonna throw his javelin first and then
Okay.
move up. And
You're still raged because you got hit last round, so go ahead.
hell yeah. Oh wait, this is a bonus action.
Friendly reminder if you want reckless attack,
Oh,
but
bonus action. Oh, may do that. I'll think about that. Did that roll? That just rolled damage, didn't it? God
Yes, sir.
dang it!
ugh, yeah.
Well,
Sorry, my dude.
Even more pissed that he misses. He gonna run up and he will reckless attack. How fitting.
There we go. Yeah, roll that damage. Golbrand fires off another arrow, and the Fey'ri just sort
It's
of
actually 11 because of rage damage.
Gotcha. The Fey'ri drops one shoulder to let it fly past him as Golbrand comes up with his greatsword, and he raises it up like he's going to go for a strike from above. And as he sees the Fey'ri sort of sidestep to try to block it, he just comes down with the hilt and pops him to deal 11 damage. Solid.
Picture.
It is now the Fey'ri's turn, and his rapier still in the air. He turns to look at you, Golbrand, and he reaches out a clawed hand and sort of grasps onto your arm as you try to pull back your blade. Shit, that rolled behind my desk. Where's my other d20? Does a 17 hit?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got some bad news for you, my friend. I need you to take 22 necrotic damage.
What?
Half.
What?
No.
I'm level 3 and a totem barbarian, meaning everything but psychic is half.
Oh, okay, then yes. I was about to say, it should just be bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, but you're correct. Make a constitution save for me.
Oh boy. So that's 11 damage, you said?
Yes, sir.
A con save, you said?
Yes, sir. Why do you sound like
Blue!
Farnsworth?
I aspire to
me,
be
that passes.
Farnsworth.
That's not someone you should aspire to be. Okay, so you don't have that reduced from your maximum, but you do take that 22 points of damage. And
Amen.
his rapier is going to swing down and take a stab at Bergin. Or no, Davos, actually. 13 plus 7, that's a 20. That's 2d8. Oh, he rolls low. 8 damage to Senor Davos.
Right.
As we round about to Bergin.
Alright. Let's see. So I'm going to take a swing at that dude in front of me. Where's my shit? Oh my god, maybe not.
Oof, no luck, my dude.
Yeah. And as a bonus action, I'm going to go ahead and.
Do it.
Where is
I like to
it?
think Bergin is also a little under the weather today and just not feeling his best.
Yeah. Let's see. Healing word myself.
I get it, my dude. Roll your heals.
Part of me just pictures Bergen and Davos, like, in between strikes
Solid.
and parries, and, like, you know, like, holding one nostril and, like, blowing snot out their nose, like, onto the ground. Like,
Disgusting.
it takes a swing.
There's a small common
Pretty
cold
much
running
that's
through the
what-
group. All right. You heal yourself up, and we go to Zatari. He's gonna make he's gonna make a perception check to see if he can see where you wandered off to. He does not find you, and instead he turns back to Golbrand and fires off his 5th round with his this will be his 6th round. His 6th round with his pepper box. 19 plus enough.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 7. Take 7 3 piercing damage, my dude.
Good stuff.
Alright. And does he have a bonus action he can use? I think, well, the bonus action was probably the check. Yeah, okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to Dryad B. Having seen Goldbrand come forward and try to attack the Fae, she does a sort of sidestep as she lunges for him with her club. 7 does not hit, so you're good. She has no bonus actions, so Talabund.
Has anyone hit Fey'ri yet?
Once, yes.
Did they have to roll a concentration?
They did not.
Okay.
Oh, you're asking if he had to roll? No, this isn't a spell per se,
Okay.
but it's a good question to have.
Yep. All right. Just wondered.
1 second. I had to reload my character page.
Hidden within the trees. Biding his time.
Yeah, I really gotta think on this one.
Picking something out from under his nails with a psionic blade.
That's pretty good.
He's just playing a song, got stuck in his head over and over. He kind of got lost in the moment.
We got Fey and Flames. God damn it, Davos.
Okay. What do I got?
You got all the shit, my dude. Friendly reminder that if you fire on an enemy while hidden, I'm
I
fairly
become
certain that you
unhidden.
have to re-hide if you want to
Yeah.
regain your stealth. Okay. Just wanted to throw that out there before you.
That's why it's taken so long for me to decide.
No, you're fine. I'm only going to give you another 30 seconds and then you'll fall out of the tree anyway, so you know.
Okay. Um,
You good, my dude?
yeah, I'll cast Dissonant Whispers on.
Yes.
On the Fey'ri.
Yeah, it's gonna be him.
Okay. What save is that?
That's Wisdom, I believe.
Wisdom.
Yep.
His wisdom's all right. Not great. Oh, he does not pass it. You watch as Tally, hidden from within the tree, the Fae sort of shakes his head and winces a bit. And Goldbrand, you almost see an opening to strike, but he quickly recomposes himself, but does take 9 psychic damage. Anything else for the rest of your action, my dude?
He doesn't run.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
He does it run?
They have to
Says the
move
creature-
their
That's right, yeah.
entire movement away from me.
Entire movement, you say?
Says as far as its speed allows.
You watch as
Goldbrand gets a swing.
hang on. You watch as his wings unfurl and give a
Oh,
mighty
Lord.
flap as he shoots 60 feet into the air.
Mod.
And he
I
is.
still get to smack him.
You do get to
right?
swing. You're the only one, yeah.
Yeah.
That does not hit.
What the?
That does not quite meet. Very close, but you're sort of almost buffeted back by the gust of these wings that, while they look thin and leathery and shouldn't be very powerful, emit quite a bit of force as he rises up into the air. Anything else for Talaband, good sir?
I'm gonna re-hide as a bonus action.
Roll your next stealth check. Pretty solid. The last one was with that out of his reach. This one's a little better. Oh, does not find you. You feel comfortably hidden. Davos.
Hey, just checking. He's 60 feet in the air. Is that break
Yes,
any
sir.
sort of range with Zatari?
What do you mean make range with Zatari?
Does that break any range that he might have for his charm, whatever spell?
Oh no, this is it's not a spell.
I'm just
Yeah, I was about to say creatures have the ability to do it too, which is why I'm not
didn't know if
really
there was
sure.
still a range to it. Could still be a range.
No, I got you. This is
Maybe it's 120 feet. Just checking. All right, you already know what it is. Dryad's gonna be
Poked.
Gaiads? I don't know.
Dryad kebabs? I'm not good at this guy.
Triad kebabs.
Wouldn't
is
that just
gonna
be
be
wood on
tag.
wood? That would be terrible.
Yeah,
Ah!
Ooh. Roll a d20 for me, my friend.
Sorry, Bergin.
Roll a. Oh no, it's
oh
on you.
no.
You come up and you try to make a stab with towards the Dryad, but you miss Bergin just due to the angle from which you're. Because I'm trying to put you guys in where the squares that you should probably be in. You actually strike Goldbrand, and for that, Goldbrand take 3
2
damage.
damage. 2?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the revved up version. Yeah, 2 damage.
You poke Gorbran in the knee and he curses and balls.
Did you use Green Flame Blade, or does that?
I was going to, but he was in the air. The
Gotcha.
Fey'ri was in the air, so.
Okay, so yeah, just the 2 damage. Anything for your bonus action, my dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shield of faith some Goldbrand,
Shield.
which gives him
plus
a
two?
+2 to AC.
Oh, really? Alright.
Nice.
He's
So
taking
go,
damage.
Brandon. Remember you have that.
And that's our
Perk.
concentration.
Go ahead and throw a little concentration thing on you so I can remember.
Is there a specific one we use?
I use the second one. That's the close eyes. It's technically a sleep one. Either that or the one that looks like a ninja. But I am gonna throw something on this guy to show that he's in the air too.
Mm.
We'll throw something on Talibin to make sure that we know he's hidden. All right. Goldbrand, what have you got?
Well, he was gonna leave that spot, but then I realized the Dryad's still there, so instead, he will. He'll probably go ahead and reckless the Dryad with his greatsword attack.
Hit him.
Oh, I'm glad I took a reckless.
No,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
That meets.
And then with his bonus action, he's just
slashing
gonna look over his shoulder and javelin Zatari.
Okay, do it. Ape, roll to hit.
Don't know if that worked, but we'll find out.
We gonna find out as you miss.
Does it
I was
hit?
hoping you got a nat
Yeah.
1 hit tally in the tree instead. A
As he's
13
hiding.
does not meet Zatari's armor class, so that does not hit. Flies off into the tree, and you hear Tally cuss a little bit under his breath. Or I imagine almost telepathy, like, dude, chill.
Yeah.
That brings us to the Fey'ri. Just gonna do a couple of things. Does he? I'm trying to remember. He doesn't have to make another save for Dissonant Whispers. It's only the 1 turn, yeah?
Yeah, it's just the 1 turn.
Okay, that's what I thought. So he is going to use his bonus action to make a perception check, see if he can find you. He does not. And then he is going to use. He turns back to the rest of you, and seeing you fire off at Zatari, he throws down a firebolt.
Mother.
Oh no! I'm sorry. No, it's the Dryads who have firebolt. He throws down a fireball.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said.
I need the Dryad, Davos, Bergin, Goldbrand, and Zatari
Dex.
to make a dex save.
That box you're asking about is when you mouse over somebody on the initiative tracker.
Yeah, I realized that the other day. I need to fix it to where all of you are linked to that. But I'll work on that. So this is for the Dryad.
Oh wow! Even the
The
advantage
Dryad
couldn't
does
save.
not pass. This is for. Oh, he does pass. I'm fairly certain. This is. Oh, yes, he does. Sweet. Okay. Good boy. Sirius was able to dodge. Let's see. Devin. Ooh. Devin, you take it. Will you roll for Zatari as well for me?
Oh wait.
Davos and Spencer, you both just barely make it. It was a 14 save.
Zatari makes it.
Zatari makes it. Sweet.
Goldbrand gets to have it cut in half anyway, so
31. So
Jesus.
Goldbrand, you take the half damage. Everyone else takes half damage too. So take 15 damage, the three of you. Or excuse me. Yeah, even Zatari, who because of that gets to make a wisdom save. Wisdom? Yeah. Wisdom save.
you.
Oh, and that was close. That barely passes. You watch as this Fey'Ri comes up
Shouldn't have
and
ended anyway because he hurt him. Sorry.
well, no, it the way it's phrased, if the Fey'Ri or anyone hits him, he has to roll a save to he gets to re-roll the save.
I see.
It's not under normal circumstances you would be correct, but this is again not normal spell.
His ability.
You watch as the Fey'Ri, now risen up in the air, its rapier still floating just a few, probably about 20 or so feet below it, as it conjures up this sort of small ember of burning magic that it fires forth, that crashes into the dirt and erupts in flame. She has resistance to fire. The Dryad does not go down. Oh no, she failed her save. The Dryad is incinerated. The rest of you are blasted by searing heat as this ball of fire emerges from the middle of you and blasts you all back a little bit. Your ears are ringing, your eyes are partially blinded, you're pissed off, in pain, and charred. The early burns across your arms and your neck and exposed parts of your flesh. As you hear a dark chuckle from above.
So glad my
Bergin.
Okay, let's see. Gonna move that right here.
Oh, he's not there.
Yeah, no, he's in the air.
Yeah.
But I still got he's 60 feet up, and my range on this thing is 60 feet. So,
Yeah.
I
he
will
didn't move at all.
spiritual weapon.
Get him.
Cha-cha-cha-cha.
Oh yeah. So you watch as after this Fey'Ri sent down this ball of fire, Bergin, after taking a hit, looks up, almost gives him the bird while doing schematic opponents.
Gives him the berg.
And gives him the berg. I love it. All right. Quote the session. As the spectral mace appears from right beneath the Fey'Ri and his eyes grow wide, sort of surprised by the quick rebuttal, and it swings at him and catches him. He actually falls about 10 feet and is now 50 feet above before he catches himself. 62. Should I have said that?
What was that?
Said that. Just had a Hagrid moment. He is no longer... He is still Hunter's Mark, excuse me. Alright, Bergin, solid move. You still have your action. Which you can't use a spell for, but you can use a cantrip.
Right, yeah.
He's about 50 feet up.
I think that's about all I can do.
Alright.
Did you say he had... Yeah, no, that's all I can do.
Since you had your action, you can ready an action. So if he comes within distance, you can try to swipe him. Or you can say, whoever he tries to hit, I'm going to cast this spell on them.
Oh, I didn't think I could cast another spell.
Well, so you can use it as a reaction. Your reaction happens on somebody else's turn. And at that point, you can cast another spell. And this is technically readying your action for a reaction. So I think that would work out.
I will ready my mace just in case he comes down at me.
Gotcha. Zatari, now cleared from his misty haze. Devin, what does Zatari do?
I figure Zatari's straight up like, man, fuck this guy. And does he still have bullets in his gun? Did he reload it?
Oh, no, he has to use an action to reload.
Does he?
But he does still have a bonus action shot that he could use. I'm pretty sure.
No, he doesn't have anything on his bonus action tab. I guess he'll come to, look down and see his pistol's empty, and be really pissed and cussing, and he'll reload for an action because he's got his crossbow or whatever, but I just don't think. Yeah, he's gonna reload so he can shoot the fuck out of this motherfucker later.
Gotcha. Dryad B is now kindling. Literal, almost instant campfire, just like standing within its wake. And Talabund, still hidden in the trees.
Yes. Chicka. What do we want? What do we want?
I will also warn you guys that Sirius was hit by that fireball and did take some damage.
Man, what the fuck?
Big range.
Yeah, it's 20-foot
That is
radius.
a big range. Fucking A. Where did... Oh.
It originated sort of right here, and then it
Yeah.
goes 4 squares in every direction.
Yeah, that's big. Tally kind of noticing that Atari has come back to his senses, leans out of the tree a bit, and he's going to draw his longbow and fire off at the Fey'ri.
Get him. You're still hidden, so I think you have advantage on the attack. Yep, don't even need it. Roll damage, my dude. Plus
Roll
something
again
tomorrow.
roll again for your 20.
First
Like
20?
roll again to see if you
Oh,
get your 20.
yeah, gotcha. See if he gets a crit.
Say what?
Roll your attack again just to see if you get a crit. This
Like
one
for your
hits,
advantage.
but,
Yeah.
but it could
It's-
hit harder.
They say you should always roll your advantages even if you hit the first time to see if you get your 20.
Oh, okay, I got you. So that would just be another...
Another 18.
Yep.
So
I don't know why it did 2 damages. I don't think I clicked it twice.
roll for
but,
your hunter's mark and sneak attack.
Is that what that is? No?
You put
It's
your
saying one... It rolled the damage. It's rolling
rolled-
piercing. It's 1d8
yeah.
plus 4, yeah?
I think so.
Which is just my normal thing, I'm pretty sure.
It should say it. Yeah, 1d8 plus 4. I don't know where I rolled twice, but go ahead and roll for hunter's mark and sneak attack.
And then, oh, sorry. That guy. Okay, I'm sorry. The internet's freaking out.
You're fine.
Sneak attack should have procced, and
Yep.
then it would also be
15.
Hunter's Mark in a second here. I got too damn many things on my action economy. What the fuck? There we go. Okay, that'll be. Oh,
Yeah.
I guess I do have a bonus action. I'm gonna hide again.
Do it. Roll your stealth.
Can I add inspiration to that?
Yeah, roll a d6. Because it is an ability check. Yeah. Roll a d6.
Yeah.
So that's a 16. Okay. Okay. Davos, you're moving, man.
Gonna be curing wounds on myself, and that just blows. Alright. I don't think I can do anything else.
Give yourself a little perk me up. That's nice.
Yeah, I was debating whether or not using my 15 lay on hands points, but I'm like, nah, I'll do the spell.
The one thing I like about lay on hands is you get to choose how much you use. So if you need
Right.
to use the full pool, it's a good little perk up.
Right.
Goldbrand.
An action to drink a potion, right?
A bonus action to drink one yourself. An action to force or to feed one
feed
to someone else.
Do I have a healing potion?
All of you should, yeah.
Let's say we have enough for.
Since
Yeah,
I have a
but-
bonus action, could I also do that?
Yeah. Glug away, my dude. Yeah, keep in mind,
let's have a
anything in
good-
the bag of holding, while it is technically in one location, unless it's like a plot-specific item, I treat it as you guys could have it on hand if you needed it.
What is that, a D8?
2d4 plus 2.
Yes, sir.
That's 1d4. So another 9. All right, thank you.
Yeah. Goldbrand, what for action, son? You're still raging.
He's gonna throw his thing. Yeah, that's gonna be the best thing to do. Let me roll this 2d4 real
Can you
quick.
use reckless with that?
Unless this is melee attack. I'll check that. Hold on. I could add 2 to this, right? Oh, great. So that's 9. He would heal himself, but he can't actually do that while he's raging. Yeah, and he'll throw his whatchamacallit. His Kajigger. Or his whatchamacallit. I don't know which one it is.
Kajigger.
You replaced my Kajigger with a whatchamacallit. No, maybe she says you replaced my whatchamacallit with a Kajigger.
It's just your first attack. It doesn't have to be melee.
Oh, well.
Oh, wait, hang on. When you use your first attack and you can decide to attack recklessly, doing so gives you advantage on melee weapon attack rolls using strength. But attack rolls against you have advantage till your next turn. So it could not work on Starry Form, I'm sorry.
I missed.
You throw another javelin and he sort of darkly chuckles as he...
Goldbrand also wants to move.
Go ahead.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30... 30?
Is it too late to move?
20, 25. You could even move a little more if you wanted to.
He doesn't want to get close to the circle. Can he move like here? He's literally just trying to make space.
No,
he
I
only
got
has
you.
to get
Get out of
fireball
that.
once to
Get
be
on.
like, all right.
Fuck that. No, yeah, that's cool. So, he sees you as you sort of take a step back and throw this javelin, and he sort of swoops out of the way. He descends about 20 more feet to where he is now just 30 feet above you guys, and his rapier flies off and tries to strike Bergin and Davos. Bergin, you have a 12 coming at you, which does not hit. Davos, you have a 20 coming at you, which does.
You motherfucker.
And
A dirty 20?
dirty 20, yeah. 19. Not 19, I'm excuse me. 9
Jeez.
plus 4, 13 damage to you, my dude.
Oh yeah, much better.
And he... That's technically just his action. He's going to use his bonus action to try to find Tally. Which I should have done first. Ooh. And he turns to scan in the trees, now a little above eye level with you, and sort of gives a coy smile like, well, you've got some friends in low places now, don't you, boy? And he sort of taps earlier where you had tried to strike him with the sai knife. And that is going to bring us to Bergin.
Sorry, what has happened since Davos's thing? I've been not here.
Since Davos's thing, Goldbrand tried to swing
What
at
did-
him. Both of them healed some pots. The Fey has found you hiding in the trees, so you have lost your
Oh,
stealth
fucker.
advantage for the time being. But he did that after he attacked, which is my fuck up, and he'll remember that next time. We are now at Bergen's turn.
All right. This dude is not undead, is he?
You could make a religion or make a religion check actually.
He can't infer that from what Saphyne told him about them.
I mean, it's gonna make the DC lower, but religion.
Not that much lower.
It doesn't seem undead from what Saphyne had relayed to you. It was of the Fey and of the Fiend, and Fiends are not necessarily undead, or not undead, I should say. They are a separate category of creature. So you would gather that he is not undead, but you're still a little hazy on that this thing is. Well, no, I would say you would gather it to be demonic before undead.
Okay. And like his weapon, is he like physically holding it in his hand, or is this
He
like
is-
some sort of like
he is not.
telekinetic thing?
Think like Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy. His rapier is literally just like in the air and like flying forth and striking at people.
Alucard, Castlevania, for more references.
Okay. Let me just read this thing real quick because there might be a technicality that might fuck my whole plan here. All right, I don't know if this would work, but what I would like to do is try to cast command on him and get him to like throw his rapier like into the forest if it passes.
Yeah, you could try that. He has to make a save on that. I'm trying to remember. Is it Wisdom?
Well, let's see here.
I think it has to be one word. I will double check that to be sure. Yeah, command is one
I
word.
mean, the priest
could say
said
drop.
drop it.
But
Can be like,
drop was
throw
the
it.
first word, yeah. You could
So
say,
he can say throw it.
well, you could say throw, you could say throw it, but he's not holding anything.
True.
And he
true.
seems to
He's not-
be, before you give him the command, I'll say that he,
Now, hold up. Bergin wasn't holding the spear when this priest said drop it. He had to reach into his bag and take it out and throw the spear on the ground when Wex used command.
okay, fair. But this is something, what I'm
I
trying
don't
to say
know
here
about
is he's
that.
controlling this psychically. You can have him throw it in the woods,
Right.
but he could bring it right back. There's nothing
Right
like, unless there's a
Hmm.
range thing on it, which you guys don't know. There could be, but.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah,
He
I don't think
rolled
I'm gonna.
pretty decent. Oh, you're not going to do that, or you're not going to say that?
Nah, I
'Cause you
don't
could-
think
you-
so. I don't think I'm gonna
you-
risk that shit.
Well, yeah, because you could tell him land. You could tell him flee. You could tell him, you can give him a number of commands that would give you some type of advantage. But I don't think the throw would be.
Right.
In
Like
your best
lay on the
interest.
ground with that, like make him prone and shit. Is that a thing? That
Yeah,
would he
it has
lie
to.
down and
Yeah, it says
It says grovel. Yeah.
Yeah,
grovel? There you go.
Devin looking up spells and shit.
It's in the chat.
That's right.
Okay.
It's in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck
You
it.
do that.
I will give it a shot.
Go ahead.
Grovel bitch.
He rolled. What save is that? A wisdom. Oh, you might get him.
15. Hit him with the berg.
He meets that. I'm sorry.
Fuck.
He
It's all good.
he got a 14 plus a 1. That's rough.
Bonus action, take a swing at him with my.
With your spectral mace, yes. It does have to move
Most
a bit, but that's
spiritual
fine.
Let me see. Let me find her real quick. Oh my god, my shit is so slow.
Yeah. Pop this motherfucker. Ooh. Aware of its presence now, he seems a little more on guard. And as you try to more or less charm him, he gives you a sort of like, nice try, kid. And sideswipes out of the, or glides a little bit over to dodge the mace. Zatari.
Oof. Zakari's gonna give him a pepper box special.
Get it. It's to make, you have to hit that 3 times. Oh,
Mother.
3 times. What
yeah.
do you mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant pepper spray.
Oh, no. Just attack it twice.
Well,
That's another D20, right?
well, I've got bad news, my dude.
Oh, it's gun jam, so the second one doesn't even go off.
Yeah, you're right. He doesn't hit anybody else,
Right.
but his gun does jam. Now, since he has 2 attacks, he has to use a whole action to unjam it, if I recall correctly. It might be a bonus action.
Oh, wonder where I'll find that.
I'm gonna pop it up. It's a fighter subclass. It's not like,
It's gonna be in his features,
Homebrew.
you think?
I'm trying to see. Misfire. Whenever you... You have to spend an action to try to repair it.
Hurt.
And this is not a reload. This is a misfire. So you have to actually roll to try to fix this. Or
I
he
see.
could swap to his crossbow for...
He'll use his bonus action. He'll slam the gun in his holster and use his bonus action to take his crossbow out, and he'll end his turn.
Solid.
Knowing he has to fix it like that.
Pissed off, he spent an action to reload. Pissed off, he has to wait. Taliban, your move, my dude. At the moment, you are not hidden, so you do not have advantage on your hit.
Right.
At
How
least-
many feet in the air is he?
He's about 30 feet up right now.
Sweet. Yeah. I'm gonna hit him with the old double Karim.
Get him.
I like how we all have like these 1-2 punches. We're like a bunch of boxers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all of us.
Okay,
We
second
can
one
hit
hits.
twice. Yeah,
You'll get there. I'll get there.
Yeah.
I think a couple more levels.
Press that, and then there's that.
You throw off another blade. You throw off 2 blades, and while he sees the first one, you keenly wait. You throw the first one, conjure the second, and as he goes to swipe away from the first, you throw the second and catch him in part of his thigh. Again, no open wound, but the head just snarls a bit at you as you lay in a little extra damage too. Nice. He's beyond bloodied at this point. He is in rough shape. You guys have done some. There, you see his wings have a couple of small holes in them. The leather armor he has is a little tattered, a little torn, and you can see droplets of dark blood, maybe red. In this late evening light, looks almost black as it drips down below. That is going to bring us to Dervos.
Guided bolt to the face.
That's what I was gonna do.
Nice. No, yeah. Roll that shit.
Good. This shit hurts.
15.
And that's with a
15. That is solid, my dude.
Wait. Let's see if there's any.
Does that seem like it
No
hurts
extra.
him any extra?
It does not.
Alright.
Well, I don't think so. He doesn't have a vulnerability to it.
That's what it
Yeah.
says.
He has quite a few
don't have-
resistances.
I'm about to say they don't do a lot of vulnerabilities in 5e.
In fact, I wish I would have reread over that resistances thing before we started, but that's a whole nother thing.
Wait, he's supposed to be resistant to that?
Not to
Not
that,
to that,
but
but
he is
probably
resistant to
slashing,
non-magical. Yeah,
Yeah.
but we'll we'll let it slide.
Lessons learned.
You still have a bonus action if you want it,
As a bonus action,
and the next person who hits him has advantage. Is that right?
yes. Because there's a mystical dim light glittering on him.
Oh.
I will. Oh wait, I gotta be within range of him. Never mind.
And are you
Does that
still
mean
concentrating?
Xander's light.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to concentrate on guiding bolt.
Well, I'm trying to think of what he was concentrating on. I've forgotten now.
Shield of fate.
The shield.
That's
for
gone by now,
Talbot.
so you can take that. Oh no, I'm sorry.
That's concentration.
You're right. I apologize.
I probably should have rolled when I took the fireball.
Yeah.
No worries. We'll let it slide for now.
All right. Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay. Gulbrand.
Golbrand will, seeing that he's looking a little more hurt, he'll let his rage go, and so he can cast a spell.
Get it.
Do the guiding bolt.
That's what I'm gonna do, but you hit, so that means that
You have
he's
advantage.
okay. So he's gonna throw his javelin first. Yeah, he's gonna throw his javelin first because he's gonna throw it anyway, and he doesn't want to. Oh, I get advantage on this one. Yes. Oh god, I can't do math. 12 damage.
What else is new?
I do that for whatever reason. Like,
Wait, did you do
Yeah.
reckless attack?
got advantage
No.
from guiding bolt.
Guiding bolt. That's right. Okay, sorry. I was doing it.
And then you're good. Then he will follow up with his guiding bolt.
Before you
that the
before you
next
even do,
person-
before you even do,
Aw.
you take your javelin, and you feel as this late evening, you feel the moon begin to rise. You see the first few stars as you look up at your foe, nearly 30, 40 feet in the air. And as you pull back, you fire off this bolt, and it seems almost empowered. And as
Turns
it
into a
strikes
fucking
through
lamp.
the back of your distracted foe, his wings unfurl wide. His body sort of retches in pain as he begins to plummet toward the earth. And as he hits the ground, you almost hear a shatter. Glowing lines of colorful energy, light, seem to fracture across his body. He looks up, one part infuriated, one part intrigued, grinning. He looks over at Talaband, where he knows him and sees him now in the low branches of the tree. The Winter Queen sends her regards to Zaphyne, boy. Which
Sorry, I
is
missed that name.
The Winter Queen.
the
is that
Winter
what it was?
Queen.
Winter Queen. Okay, sweet.
No, and you should remind her that no one steals from the Queen. You best watch your back, boy. You may have friends in low places, but you've made enemies across the realms. And we don't die so easy here. You watch as those fractured colored light seems to break down into this shining glow, a fine dust almost, that sort of drifts back toward the portal as he disappears from existence. We are going to take a break in just a second, but anyone who wants to can make an Arcana check, or they could choose to do, I guess, a religion check. Arcana or religion.
I got 3.
I don't
Somebody's
never
gotta
seen
have
that
something
in
better.
my life.
The holy boys are like, it's the devil, it's the devil, it is the devil.
Is it all of us or is it just a few of us?
Anyone who wants to.
Okay.
Mine are really bad.
I love how we both rolled. Well, okay, I rolled.
Let me see the rest of them so I can... Oh, do one for Zatari as well, Gobrand.
Let me see what he's got. His Arcana sucks. His means his religion sucks. Our intelligence both sucks. Darn.
Yearn.
Just do it. Just
Gobrand and Zatari wish it could be a nature check instead.
Not quite, unfortunately.
I'm looking for
I
Gobrand's.
mean, the Fey is part of nature. We're
Oh.
in Faerun.
16! You just...
There we go.
See? You never...
Gobrand's over here like, waits a second.
Now, you recall... You're very superstitious as an Uthgardt barbarian. You're kind of already averse to magic. You have historical rivalries, in a way, with the Fey. Uthgardt helped free this realm of the giants and the creatures that would cause harm to humans. And you recall a bit of lore, an oral tradition passed down that you've heard many times around the fire, that creatures from the Feywild are not here physically. They present themselves in a projection of themselves, almost. And killing a Fey creature here does not destroy that creature, at least not through normal means. You also gathered that if your hound, Sirius, were to be struck down, that he would reappear somewhere on the other side. But you know that this thing is not dead, and that he has only been stalled, for lack of a better word.
Kind of dragging his sword in the dirt as Gobrand's like moving back towards the group. He'll look up at Talon and he'll say, "That's did not kills that things. I believe he would have to go, he points, in theirs to do that. But that's may not be the greatest ideas right now, because he'll look at himself and everyone else."
Speaking of, we're going to take a 10-minute break, because I have to piss like a Russian racehorse. So we'll be right back. So, gentlemen, the Fey'ri has fractured into this dust, disappeared into this portal. You all begin to gather around once more. Tally, your necklace still pulling you toward this portal. Sirius sort of carefully inching up behind you guys, not wanting to get to it, but not wanting to leave your side.
How does he look?
He is a little beyond bloodied. Sirius have a lot of hit points. A lot of them is plant-based matter. This fireball seems to have singed a lot of that. You see leaves missing. Unless he's in his illusionary form, which I don't know if that's going to be our default, or that's just when we're in towns. That's up to you guys.
No, he looks cool.
Okay.
I don't know, we'll deal with this, and then Gobrand will think about it. He might cure wounds, but he'll look at Talon and he'll be like, "Do you know how to close these things?"
Sorry, who was that to? I didn't catch up.
To Talon. I
What was the
thought
question?
if you knew how to close it, I thought that Joey had said that she explained how to close it, but I don't know if that's the case.
She
Did
gave you
we
the
get a-
instrument too. She didn't really elaborate. She just sort of gave you the trinket and sent you on your way.
Well, definitely not
Ha-
going in there.
Yeah, I'll take the necklace in my hand and be like, it has something to do with this, but before we continue, I could use some medical attention.
Tally gushing blood from the side.
Yeah.
Goldbrand doesn't look great either, and
Y'all could do
Two.
like a.
yeah.
could-
But
I wouldn't use
he'll
any
look at-
potions, but y'all could heal up if you would
Yeah.
like.
well, but I'll look at. Oh, we can take a short rest.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
So you
That
guys can roll
changes
any number of
things.
hit die that you
Are we,
have.
Hold on.
I'm
Hold
not
on.
exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure. Like I didn't finish the last recording you put up, so I don't
Mm.
know. Like, are we about to go into like a dungeon or something? What exactly?
nah.
No, you were sent to
Where
close it, not to
are
delve
we?
into it. So
Yeah.
But we also
Okay.
don't know what's gonna happen when we close it. Yeah.
Before we take this short rest
Necessarily.
to try to conserve some people's hit dice, because I get this back after the short rest. Goldbrand will use a new constellation, not new, but one you guys haven't seen before, called the Chalice.
Mm.
And so this time, instead of looking like an archer, he looks like a chalice, and he will cast Cure Wounds.
Wait. Form of a cup.
What
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
Captain Planet
where is
bullshit is this?
Can we
Can I
roll
know-
both two hit die?
Uh,
How is this? How
You
is
can,
Hang
it
on,
you can
before-
roll as
before you
many
do
hit die as
that-
your level is.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you're a split class, so you can roll up to 5 hit die, but it has to be however many of your rogue, however many of your ranger. More
Oh,
likely
so I
than
can
not,
roll- I can roll all of them?
yes, more likely than not, it'll fill you
I'm
up.
gonna,
So
I'm
Tally,
gonna
you
do
get
that on the never mind.
Tally,
Right.
you get 9 healing before that, and Goldbrand gets 7. The Chalice just lets him do it like it's. I'm trying to put it in chat. He just gets to heal someone else while he's in Chalice form when he uses a healing spell.
Just
We
drinks me.
Do we have to do how
That's
much dice we want to roll in one time, or can we okay, I
Wow.
only want to use one hit dice. That wasn't enough. Let me use another one.
Yeah, you can do that.
Or do
I
we
mean,
have to say,
really, the only time you use hit die is for short rests. So you're
Yeah.
welcome
Oh,
to
right.
use them all. I
Yeah, because
will.
you get them all back.
Oh, there we go.
All right, I'll just do.
Oh hell yeah! Goldbrand rolled 12. No, it's Taliban. Come on, Goldbrand, where's yours? Oh, his was 10. But it didn't go to the Fiend.
That's okay.
He's gonna use another one.
All right, that's one.
You guys spend a few minutes patching yourselves up as Goldbrand recounts what he can recall from this oral tradition of these mysterious creatures from beyond the Fey. While his people have not heard legend of this type of creature, knowing that it is a type of Fey gives you some insight into how you believe it behaves.
There we go. Had to fix my thing, so I got my wild shape actions back. Goldbrand don't look like shit no more.
All right.
Full health.
While the rest of them are healing up, Goldbrand wants to take a rock out of his bag and try to knock a mushroom over with a rock.
You can. You throw the rock. It makes impact with the mushroom, bends it, but as the rock tumbles beyond the circle, so to speak, vanishes from sight.
Does the stem look torn or anything?
Yeah, the stem is damaged. The necklace still pulling the whole wrist tally.
Yeah, Tyler's gonna take the necklace off and hold it out an arm's length and just kind of walk slowly towards the mushrooms.
It's almost weird. It's like a dowsing rod. Like your arm is out, and even if you move it, the trinket at the end of it is just like affixed. You
Can
step
Goldbrand
closer.
hold on to the back of Tally's belt?
Get pulled in
I'll
too,
hold on
motherfucker. Sure.
to,
No, I'm kidding.
Goldbrand's loincloth.
Just lined up. All right, beautiful. Running a train on this Fey Portal. Okay. Tally,
Dude, I don't know
take
what to
another step
expect.
forward. You all collectively, right step forward, left step forward.
Did you tell us what happens when you close it?
She did not. The
Can
trinket.
I ready an action to if something pops out, pop it with an attack?
Sure, I would say you all can. You take a step forward.
Goldbrand
another.
already himself to.
And another. And as the trinket comes to the line where the mushrooms form their cylinder, you watch as the air around the portal takes on that same shimmering dust-like appearance. red, purple, blue, green, slowly fracturing and raining down. You pick up a rock beside you and toss it. It bounces into this circle, still visible, still present. You gather that you have sealed this portal. You do find one particular thing. When the creature had faded into dust, you don't even really notice it until you step a couple of times forward. And it's a small ring. It is a ring of mind shielding. We're just going to drop into your bag.
Can I roll a check to see if the mushrooms are an important component of anything?
Yeah, you could roll a nature or a
Survival.
nature or an arcana check. Because you're not like trying to just forage mushrooms, you're trying to determine the nature of them.
It double rolled. I don't know what the...
They don't seem to be important. When he broke the mushroom, it didn't stop the portal. It didn't seem to have any effect on it. You would gather that the mushrooms are more of a side effect of the portal rather than what is forming the portal, or what formed the portal.
While this was going on, can I do a perception check to see if anything around the area is coming closer, running away?
Nope, absolutely. Go
Kind of
ahead.
looking out for danger more so. I got a 15.
You do not see any particular movement in the woods. Oh.
Sorry, I just
No.
wanted to draw on it. I was
The mushrooms are there, motherfucker. No.
Did you say ring of mind shielding or shearing?
Shielding.
Okay, I was
Shielding.
like, whoa.
Go ahead and put it on and find out. Technically, you wouldn't know that until you put it on anyway, but I'm going to be generous. This is an artifact that
like a
protects
+1
you
wisdom.
from unwanted telepathic communication. Small
man.
brass, has a blue gemstone.
Anybody should have that. It should be Tally.
It's got a small blue gemstone that has this sort of gold inlay and very specific cracks. And as you squint at it, those of you who have seen a lot of battle will recognize it as a human brain. Not an actual brain, of course, but that is the design that it's gone after. I'll even drop a little itty bitty thing into chat here so y'all
I
can
think I
see
had
it.
a set of coasters with that on it or something.
Yeah.
Back in a roll bar.
Son of a cunt. Cunts, man. And their sons. Just
I'll talk about yourself that way.
boy, both. There's a picture and a write-up for you. I probably shouldn't have sent you that last bit, but there's nothing in it as far as the soul aspect. There's not a consciousness residing in this, but it's kind of a neat little thing. I wasn't going to take it off because I'm like, I mean, that's what the item says, but shrug. And you would know that after wearing it for a time anyway. I'm just expediting that a bit.
We're spending a long rest with it, short rest with it? I don't remember.
Short rest. I think it's 30 minutes for attunement.
So now what?
Yikes.
Whatever you want. You can choose your next destination. You can reach out to someone. You can phone a friend.
Goldbrand. Yeah, I didn't think about that because Goldbrand wanted to say, so he'll go ahead and say, I am a little worried that Sweeze has left the cities of Golden Fields in a precarious state. I do not know when that giants would comes to itself, but it was eventually, and we has left the cities with a angry neighbors. And he'll look at Taliban. Perhaps we could call the blues ones to see, because it's been several days, right? It's been, what, you said 7 days? Almost to 10 day? Like,
it was quite a ways, yeah. I have it written down here.
Okay, but
you guys left here on the 10th. It's the 19th. It was a 9-day journey.
Yeah, a 10 day. So he'll, So perhaps we can cause the blue ones to make sure that the giants is not returns.
Yeah, I'll take out our little mirror.
The glass of insemination. I mean, dissemination. Dissemination.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hold up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Talking a lot of shit for a guy within insemination distance.
You take out the mirror and you say the name Saphyne. You see one of the rubies ignite a little bit, glow, as the mist turns a swirling blue and fades in on the visage of the familiar Saphyne. Well, son, I sense that you might have completed your task.
The
Congratulations.
best of my ability. Our ability. Sorry, I turned in selfie style, put everybody in the shot.
Awkwardly cramp.
What kind of
Like
I
you
was
seize
about
up
to
your
say,
nose a little bit. Like
We have like bandages on and shit too, so we're all like.
you don't see your self view. You just see her. So you think that you've got everybody in shot, but as you guys are patching each other up, I will be making a generous donation to Nightstone. I trust there was not too much trouble.
Couple fireballs.
A few scratches.
We were a little
Um,
singed.
The
Well, aren't we all,
Fey'ri
dear?
was interesting to say the least.
I'm sorry.
The Fey'ri was interesting to say the least.
Oh. Saphyne wasn't sure if he would be present or not, or if any would be present. Can you describe him to me, or her?
Tally describes the figure that he saw.
She takes a few moments, and as you describe it, she sort of furrows her brow and... No, I believe I am familiar with this entity. His name is Azazel. He's been a thorn in my side for quite some time. Tricksy one. One of the main reasons I don't venture into the Feywild.
So there's no other like him?
Oh, there are many Fey'ri, child. Maybe not many. They're not common creatures. Not as common as tieflings would be. But they do exist in a sizable number.
He returned to the Feywild. Is
Hmm.
this going to be an issue for us moving forward?
He may continue to go about his work. But I have a good grasp on things that happen between the Fey realm and this one. If he should open up another portal, I'll be sure to let y'all know, and I should be able to take care of it lickety-split.
Yeah, we'd rather like to nip the issue in the bud if we could.
But of course.
So when he opens it, he's just chilling on the other side, waiting for a rock to come in, and then
Not necessarily. Sometimes he may be near the portal, waiting for a mortal to make their way in. Sometimes he may go out and drag a mortal unwillingly through various means. Tally, your arm kind of stings as you recall the lightning lure that he had wrapped around your arm as he had initially tried to tug you toward the Fey Portal. He,
is there like traps we could set?
if you've
Or-
destroyed
or-
if you've sealed the portal, then there's no immediate need.
If he were to open another one, like bait him out and trap him,
Open another one, but...
other than throwing a javelin into the circle.
Other things that you know Azazel particularly prefers that he can only get from our realm.
Yeah, like young
Mm.
children, old
Oh,
ladies.
He's not too picky.
Kai
They do find those who are already quite useful in your realm tend to prove their worth in the Feywilds. But no, what is odd is that for many, many, many generations, that this land was protected. Not in its entirety, but large swaths of it were protected from this type of rift forming. I don't know what has changed that has weakened the state of protections that Faerun has, but I will do my best to learn more as I can.
Does it have anything to do with the Winter Queen?
The Winter Queen. I could most certainly see her being involved. Many of the Fey'ri are pawns of hers. She is, I do not know why she would be drawing creatures in. A few suspicions, perhaps, but nothing I could say in confidence.
Does you have any ideas how long it will takes him to manifest himself again in these planes?
It'll be quite some time before he can make his way this side of the ether. I believe he would have days at least. Difficult to say. He's even among the Fey'ri, he's an unusual breed. There are some who say that he's the son of the Winter Queen herself, though I think that's little more than rumor.
Sounds like a whore.
Ooh, you are sharp-tongued for a man of God, aren't you, son?
He's also a
That's the
bard.
bard coming out.
He is also a bard.
Terribly in character, I love it.
Has there been any signs of the giants returning to the cities?
Oh, no, sugar. Even if that one did, that Miss Maxine sent packing, I believe we could handle a single giant. Even two giants without their amassed forces, which you boys did quite nice work of thinning up. Though, not without help. As you, the image begins to shift back to mist as you gather that your 5 minutes are up, and she disappears once again from beyond, from the glass of dissemination.
Close.
You actually got more than 5 minutes, Devin, so eat a dick. Kidding.
No, man, that was like, yeah, it was good. We got a lot out of that. Just
Yeah.
don't know, Gobrand would have said that.
You guys do have 2 more uses if you want to call her back, but you've got the core of the information.
What time is it?
What time is it?
Where's the sun in the sky?
Early evening, late afternoon. Like I would say
Cute.
somewhere about 6ish, 7ish.
Hmm.
The sun has started to set. The first few evening stars are popping through. It's you gather it'll be nightfall within an hour or so.
Can you pull up the large map?
Yeah, of course, my dudes. You have a few options. Go ahead and everybody roll a long rest. I'm not gonna.
Cool. I was about to say, well, I kind of want to have like a small role play thing.
Okay.
Where like
You can do that over
before,
this
like, yeah, while they start, I guess if we're gonna rest now, it doesn't matter. They travel whatever direction before they start to rest, or as they're leaving this area. Gobrand will say, we need to have Sluethe Fires tonight. We have many directions to travel and not many times, and he'll. When we get to rest or whatever, so I keep trying to go click the button and talk at the same time. He will build like a semi-big fire. Like he doesn't build a bonfire, but it's bigger than the campfire that y'all are used to, and he packs it full of wood and gets it like.
Where do you do this at? By the roadside where you guys departed? In the woods? In the circle of mushrooms?
What was the reason?
I kind of like the circle of mushrooms idea. Like you're just like, let's just start a big fire here where if he comes back, he'll just be this will be fun.
Yeah, I'm down. Go. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, no,
Tally helps build said fire.
Yeah. Nah. If you
Why
ask
did
him,
you wanna-
I was about to say, if you ask him, he says, it is in the tribes, it is something we do where everyone is gathered. It is a It takes him a minute to think of the term because Devin can't think of it. It's like a public forums for those who have
sophisticated
authority. Yeah, sorry, it's the best Devin could do. Is a place for everyone who has a right to speaks. We have many things to discuss and decisions to be decided. In the tribes, decisions are made around Sluethe Fires. And he just starts a big fire. That's all he's really talking about.
I like to think he hands
We're
each
gonna
of you.
draw attention.
Yeah, technically, like, I don't know what he would. Yeah, technically, he does. Like, when we get started and everyone gathers around the fire, he like cuts a small like swath of his bear coat, like just a small amount, and takes it and turns and like dumps it into the fire. He says, "I will speaks at this fire," and he I think Joey had something. Sounds like he's gonna hand stuff to everybody.
Well, I was thinking you
I
were
don't
going to
get
hand them
cut a guitar
effigies or
string
something to
when
burn.
I gotta speak.
Effigies is even better. I kind of like that too. Carved bear.
You gather from Goldbrand's offering that to speak at this in his tribe, there is some type of offering that has to be made. It does not have to be precious. Does not have to be exceptional, but something must be burned to earn your right to speak. Goldbrand, since you did burn your item first, why don't you go ahead and speak first? You guys can have conversation once you present where you would like to go. Let me just run through your options again. You guys have 4 different destinations you can head to. Well, 4 scripted destinations. If y'all want to say, fuck it, let's go to Silvery Moon, I'll cry a little bit, but we'll go. Kryptgarden Forest, which is where the dragon Old Gnawbone resides. Your old friend Kolkar lives. And where Naxine told you may be able to find more information about what is causing the giants to be so active. Shadowtop Cathedral, which is the closest location, about 2 days' travel to the east. An ancient temple in the woods that the Druid Aerglas, who awakened Liferlas, had departed for some 30-odd years ago. He believes that there you'll be able to find him, who was a fine slayer of giants, and may be able to help you in this endeavor. You could head to Waterdeep, head toward home, where there's a bard of interest that Davos knows about, and there is a inheritance that you are set to collect from G's family, or from a family related to G's family. Not related biologically, or you could head back to Nightstone. You gather that Nightstone would take you about 11 days. You are a good ways away from home at the time.
So Goldbrand was not particularly looking to does not he'll just say there's potentially a lot of places we could go. We should decide now if we want to follows ups on all of these leads or leaves some for others. We are lords now, so we can send people to do these things. He's questioning that. Not really sure if that's true, but
Zatari be like, wait, you have forces that you can just send to go talk to a fucking dragon. That's something you guys do? You send these fucking peasants out into the woods to fucking talk with a giant serpent? Jesus Christ.
That's something
maybe
we guys do. That's Goldberg will say, I am nervous about speaking with the dragons, but I would not send others to do it. On the other hand, perhaps we could find the cathedrals and have its locations reported back to us. I am simply wondering where we thinks we should go from here.
I have it marked on your map, but you do not know specifically where Shadowtop Cathedral is. You know that he told you to follow the Dressium River north, and then when it forked, to follow it to the east and into the High Forest. But you did not get, you don't have an exact, it's right here kind of thing.
Yeah.
Are we the red triangle?
Yes, sir. You're the red triangle. The green triangles are quest markers. The colorful music notes are bards in various cities that you have been informed of.
So the cathedral, although we don't know where it's at.
You know it's... Yeah. You know it's within a couple of days. Devin, don't you fuck up my map, you bastard.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to ping.
You know it's within a couple of days' journey.
Metatal and Devin's show with... Go ahead.
Were we headed to the Shadowtop Cathedral before this?
You were headed specifically to the Fey Portal. That was your original destination. You guys were like, that's a high priority. Let's take care of that first.
And we kind of already started following the Dressimir, I think you said it was called, east?
Yeah, you've had to come a little bit east to get to where you are now. You're it's certainly the closest by far, but it's also out of your way in regards to going home. Any of the other destinations you could kind of hit on the way home if you were to choose to, with a little bit of a delay. Why not everyone? So Goldbrand, you threw in your offering of the bear cloth. Which destination do you think you should head to next?
Personally, he thinks that we should go to the cathedrals. It
The
is
Shadowtop?
Yeah, I believe
Okay.
we have the times.
Okay. Davos, what are you throwing in the fire, and where do you recommend we go?
Kind of want it to be not something trivial that I throw in, but
I mean,
Well, you have to do this every time you speak at a Sluethe Fire.
yeah, don't make it super personal. But you, as a a liar player, might have several picks or strings, or you might have
I'll do a pick.
yeah.
I have a wooden pick. Seems to be made out of like a purple wood
I like it.
that I hand carved myself. Have a few of them, but anyway,
Super
I
cool.
tossed that in the fire, and I agree with Shadowtop.
Okay. Bergin and Tally and Zatari. Oh, the suspense is killing me. Throw something in. No.
We just need one more for Shadowtop.
I mean, oh yeah, he has a point.
I throw a candle in, and I guess I'm good with the shadow top as well.
What is that, vanilla?
That was the most barred thing you have ever said.
It's actually almond butter.
The fuck is almond butter?
You milk the almonds and then you. Okay, so you have 3 for Shadowtop, but if anyone would like to express, Zatari seems fine going wherever. He is kind of keen to go to Shadowtop because he wants to learn more about how to take the giant, or excuse me, not Shadowtop. Well, yeah, he's Shadowtop and Kryptgarden catches attention because they are both supposed to have information on how to take down the giants or some way to help them. So he's fine to go to either one. What about Tally?
Tally searches his quiver and finds an arrow that's just like the runt of the litter, snaps it in half and throws it in the fire.
The fire grows brighter. Inferior offering. No.
Shadowtop it is.
Fantastic. All right, we're gonna expedite this. You guys travel along the Dressium River for a couple of days. Rest up, recover from your wounds. Watches are a little tense. You know from Saphyne that it may take a couple of days for this entity to remanifest, but it doesn't make it any easier to sort of dismiss the dark shadows that linger in the night. You make your way following the winding Dressian River into the high forest, which for some of you is nice to return home. Goldbrand and Tally are both from these woods. Taliband not far from this actual area. Goldbrand's more to the south, but considers all of the woods his favorite
He spent
terrain.
most of his life in the woods, yeah.
Yeah. You guys make your way through, and recalling what Liferlas told you. He told you that the Druid Aerglas planned to follow the Dressium River north and east to seek out an old Treant named Turlang at Shadowtop Cathedral. Everyone roll a perception check for me.
Bloop. Blip.
Okay. There
This
it is.
next one is Zatari's.
Um,
That
The-
PP too big.
this picture is not an actual image from the book. It's more to invoke a certain feeling or idea, to give you sort of a visual. It's not exact. After wandering through the woods for much of the day and it growing into the early afternoon, you find the river turns into a waterfall, ascending up a cliffside.
Did you say ascending?
Not ascending,
Oh,
excuse me,
I'm
but
s-
yeah, not reverse waterfall Vokodo bullshit. But as you come closer, Taliband, you give a look up top, and you see rough stone walls, but they're not just stone. They're covered in vines and algae and moss. They're almost indistinguishable from the forest, but your keen eyes pick up on it. I think you're the only one. Goldbrand sees that there's a little bit. The shape isn't quite right. It's a little too structured for it to be wild. But you guys make your way up the cliffside using a part of pathways, parts of ledges that you. It's not difficult to climb up, but does take some time. As you arise to it, there is no roof to this structure, just a canopy of towering trees and twisting branches that nearly block out the sun, save for a few dozen small shafts of sunlight that make their way through. You take in the beauty of the surrounding hall, and you, Davos and Bergin in particular, you recognize some of the artwork that's sort of now partially covered. Symbols of Maleki, the goddess of nature, Sylvanas, another goddess of nature, or god of nature, excuse me. Maleki usually depicted as a unicorn, which you guys would know is the same statue that is also at the Temple of Lathander, as it is a temple to both gods back home at Nightstone, and Sylvanas, the tree deity. And because you rolled so damn high, Tally, you realize one of these trees is not a tree. One of these taller...
Hello up there.
What? Whose are you talking to?
Look up.
You all look up to see a disgruntled, not sneering, but certainly displeased face way up atop this massive tree. The Treant comes down, lowers himself among you, his vines sort of tangling through, has long been rooted here, where the trance of...
There's a person in that picture for
There
scale.
is, for scale. Banana for scale. This Treant has been rooted here for a long, long time. And while he doesn't displace all of his roots, he does take... Actually very swiftly, almost like 15 feet towards you, just in this couple of steps. And what, pray tell, makes foolish small folk think it wise to barge into sacred ground uninvited? What business have you at Shadowtop Cathedral?
We were told of this place by a friend, Liverloss.
He continues to stare at you.
Goldbrand
Yeah.
will add in Sylvan that we did not mean any offense. We came to seek information. Well, he'll say we came to seek information in common, but...
You came all this way for information. That must be very precious.
We do lots of walking for lots of weird things.
What did Liverloss send you here for?
Meet the druid who made him the way he is.
Aerglas.
Aerglas.
The tree sent you on a fool's errand. Aerglas has been dead for almost 20 years now.
He said that Aerglas came to use. Oh, that's an even better question.
One more time, Devis?
Did you kill him?
Very good question.
How did you know he's been dead for so long?
He visited this place many years ago, probably close to 30, and stayed here for quite some time, meditating, guarding the forest, occasionally venturing out to the nearby cities of small folk. But he was adventurous and stubborn, and one too many times got between foes much larger than himself. And he doesn't seem to threaten you, but he seems to sort of almost straighten up a little bit to show you just how massive he is. I mean, we're talking 40, 50 feet easy. Like,
I'm still not convinced he didn't kill him.
What was Devin's question? Or Goldbrand's question, sorry.
He came to use... Funny he said that. He came to use seeking informations about giants. We
Even
are
though-
hoping... Oh.
Sorry, go ahead.
We are hoping that you could enlighten us in the same ways. The lands shake with giant footsteps. The whole continent, if we cannot do anything about it.
Aerglas.
And we do mean
was a-
giants, not giant trees. Just so we're clear.
Aerglas was the one who is a professional at slaying the giants. That is not why he sought out Shadowtop Cathedral. He came here for enlightenment, to reconnect after living too long within walls, as I'm sure you can understand yourself there, Uthgard.
Supposed to say to Gobra and Natalia post, that's great.
Mhm.
You hear another voice. And
Nothing wrong
Tally,
with
you
a
didn't
bat.
take notice of it originally, distracted by the massive entity that dominated the room. But you see a younger, dark-skinned, dark-haired, probably about 20s to 30s, elven, apparently, sharp ears, keen features, beautiful, adorned in green robes, wielding a staff. Fuck.
I discreetly kind of give Goldbrand like a little elbow tap easy.
You
I
came
learned
seeking
a long time
Aerglas.
ago.
You came seeking Aerglas, a man who died while most of you were but babes. And why would Liferlos send you to seek out my father? What did you hope to learn from him?
How to kill giants.
Yeah, how to stop the giants from rampaging across the continents. I discovered this.
My father would not know much about how to stop what is happening these days. He was quite good at protecting nature from their advances. But unfortunately, he was a little too ambitious. He was killed trying to stop a battalion of fire giants from laying siege to a dwarven citadel. You,
Sorry to hear that.
you
I know what
seek-
it's like to lose a father. Fighting a giant.
The name is Tharra.
Davos.
Davos. Where do you come from, travelers?
Nightstone.
Oh, yeah.
Nightstone. And she thinks for a moment. Oh yes, not far from Waterdeep in Daggerford, if I recall, near the coast.
Yes.
I've never been myself, but when I still ventured out into the world of our kind, she says, noticing that you are also an elf,
Half elf.
yeah, I was about to say, when I still traveled out in the worlds of our kind, I had passed by it a time or two. And you seek, what? Some magic weapon to slay all the giants?
I mean, if you got one. Yeah.
I feel like searching for that would leave you very unsatisfied. Shh, don't you wiggly eyebrow me, Duncan.
A
There-
bunch of leptomon, but
If
not talking to me.
if you I mean, she's talking sort of all of you. She's sort of up on one of the high walls, concealed in the underbrush. But she drops down and catches herself. Not quite superhero landing, but reminiscent of. Now, if you were seeking a way to protect your people, that is something I could be motivated by. But if you are seeking just to cause more death and destruction, even of those who are causing death and destruction, I think you will find little assistance here.
You could help us make Nightstone safer against the giants' attacks.
Could I?
Could you?
I didn't ask if you would, just if you could.
Certainly could. She stops and thinks for a moment. I have heard tale from some of the trees and shrubs that wander this forest that the giants... Fuck off, Devin. That the giants have grown more aggressive as of late. This, I know, is an issue for all of our kinds. Perhaps, Turlang, she says as she looks up to the Treant, we could convene a moot at the Ardeep Forest. Have a gathering there. Make them aware of the giant threat. Discuss this. And she turns back to you. Treants are difficult to communicate with, even if you speak the language. And surprisingly impatient for things that live as long as they do.
Fucking hate threes.
You'll need an ambassador. I will join your
you?
cause. And I am happy to help rebuild in any way that I can. And lead the Trents, should the situation call for it.
What would you ask for in return?
Yeah, you're just gonna do this.
The opportunity to avenge my father, to save innocents, to protect the wilds from the advancing forces that encroach upon them, who seek to burn them into little more than ash. This is what I do, son. And you gather that while she looks young, she is a full elf. So she could be much, much older. And her face softens a bit. I apologize. I do not mean to... I am slow to trust. But protecting innocence is something that I can get behind. So, if you'll have me, I'll gladly join your cause.
Easy.
That's a really good eyebrow one.
So many waggles.
So I was about to say, Gobrand's a little confused. He'll say, "Are you offerings to returns to Nightstones with us, or are you going to be our ambassadors at this moot?"
Word will have to get around to the Treants of the area. I will travel south through the high forest, stopping to speak to a few of our acquaintances, as well as stopping at some of the forest along the way. I will not travel with you in this, but I will arrive at Nightstone. Hopefully, within a few days, a week or two.
Will we need to be there to meet you?
Not necessarily.
We
Well-
have a couple of other things to attend to.
But there is one thing that gives me pause. You surely know, and she gestures to Tally and to Davos, and I guess Valkyr too. That our kind, wood elves in particular, can be territorial. I do not know of the tribes that reside. I know of tribes that reside in the Ardeep, but have never met them or made any contact. Are you aware of any of my kinsmen who reside within the forest?
Hell yeah. What's his name? Riker?
Rond.
Rond?
Yes,
Something
there's.
like that.
Yeah, we do have Rond. Give me a moment. Pulling up an old.
I was trying to think of something that
deep
could
in the
give.
story for this one.
He
Yeah, I
thought
was
my
try-
friend
his-
Tally here was so cool, he gave him like super sight.
His name was, I think his name was Rond Arrowhome.
That is correct, yes.
I was trying to think of something that we could give her to identify herself to him, but
I think if we
I think our
just-
names, you
Yeah.
know.
especially Tally.
I was about to say that might work. I figure, back then that was a common thing.
Ellie also mentions Evabin, his
Yes.
you know, his
spouse?
tribe mate.
Tribe mate. She nods, and we are not a hostile people when not threatened. I will make plain why I'm in the region and what I seek to provide for you in terms of protection. I think that they'll find us If nothing else, we will bide our time on the outside of the forest until you return, and can aid with diplomacy.
Do you need anything to help you on your travels?
She
Some potions,
smiles.
rations?
That is sweet of you, but no. And Turlag, Tharra, if you are to be going, I must ask you, please, take W with you. And you see her, she almost, like, scoffs a little bit. Turlag, I know he was my first awakening, but and there is a place in my heart for that, but he's just so oblivious. And
George W. Bush walks out from behind the pillar.
Is it a bush?
a sentient bush pops up
Oh my god. If that wasn't the plan, it
And
better be
walks.
now.
precisely.
This dude says
Oh my god, that's so good.
see
That's
us-
so good.
One of the shrubs literally stands and has long, almost bird-like legs made of wood, and sort of skitters over. I imagine almost chocobo style, just like
Yeah.
to rush up by Tharra and looks up at her, and
this is gonna
she
be
speaks a bit in it to Sylvan. She speaks a bit to it in Sylvan, and
Just
goes,
tell it.
"Well, my friend, are you up for some adventure?" And those of you that can understand Sylvan, which I know is at least Goldbrand,
I
Tally,
don't think I do.
Yeah.
yeah,
Nope.
you too. The bush goes, Lego. not really. I didn't, but it's all about it.
I'm sorry, I just keep having this like scene of Sirius trying to pee on it.
Canon, like, Sirius again. Fur ruffles up, like looking at it, very curious. Not hostile, but definitely knows it's some type of magic that's awakened this, and is kind of freaked out by it. Kind of like my dog, when he was a puppy, saw a turtle for the first time, thought it was a rock, came up to sniff it, and the turtle moved, and he nearly shit himself. So I imagine it's a similar reaction.
So wait, this is how these things are created?
They are awoken by a druid. They have this won't grow into a tree or anything, but she can awaken plants, as can other powerful druids. It's
Just how Liferloss came to be.
exactly. Her father awoke Liferloss. It was a tree that already existed. He just gave it sentience and the ability to move and to speak and to think. She did the same with this bush, sort of as she mentioned it was her first, sort of as a practice run, trying to see if she got the spell down right, and inadvertently created this rather dense bush. Puns intended.
Does Goldbrand understand that's a pretty stout piece of magic?
That's pretty. Yeah, you
Yes.
gather.
Does Goldbrand, would he have the gravity to understand what level spell that is? Was kind of what I'm trying to ask.
He would know. I hate the concept of levels, like meta wise.
Yeah.
So I would say he knows it's a very powerful type of magic.
All right.
He and she, if you sort of act surprised, she sort of shrugs and, my father taught me many things, and left me with many things before his death. While I'm not particularly talented at this, I've managed to succeed a time or two. But that is through a great number of attempts. And you, meta-wise, you're gathering that she's almost saying that she cast this as a special type of ritual, rather than just a spell she can cast at will. But
Okay.
We'll go ahead and, unless you guys have any other questions for your new friends.
How will we reach out to you? Or you us?
You will not need, I will find my way to you. You will not need to seek me out. And I am not one for, invasive communications.
Certainly. Before you go, we'll also warn, we've just sealed up a portal to the Fey realm. A Fey'ri by the name of Azazel may be trying to set up shop elsewhere. Best to be on your toes.
She looks at Turlag, who nods, and While he doesn't, while they don't seem to know the Fey'ri in particular, they gather that there is some type of force from the Feywild that they should be on alert for, and seems that Turlang plans to take some measure of precautions. She gives you a smile and dips her head, and with that, boys, I'm off. And her and W wander down and head the opposite direction that you came in. You came in from the east. She heads out a little toward the west, seemingly toward the mountains in the distance.
Yeah, go west of town.
Go west, young man. Haven't you been told?
Oh, is the tribe near the Star Mountains right now?
They are not. It is still.
okay,
They're getting closer.
Okay.
They are.
I'll take your word for it.
Because it's still early spring. We're
Okay.
still in April, quote unquote. They are
They're
still
on
near the
top.
high moor, but they are heading that direction. You know that by summer they'll be toward the northern end of the high forest.
Yeah, he doesn't have to worry about it running into him now, though.
For expediency's sake, you guys take your rest. Turlang allows you to spend the night in the cathedral, if you will, but goes back into his more stoic state. And you check out the ruins. It's interesting, to say the least. Some place so wild, yet so structured. And the depths of the forest, not carved from stone, but molded from it, shaped from it. Definitely arcane effects, rather than something that was carved away by hand. And as you guys are exploring this, Zatari collapses. He falls forward in immediate pain.
The fucks.
Zatari himself feels a freezing sensation on his left leg as it seems to lock up and grow heavy, and simultaneously his right is tremoring uncontrollably.
Do you use normally do that?
His breathing is locked up. He cannot respond to you. He grits his teeth and he gasps, and the pain fades a bit, just as quickly as it came on. He immediately rolls onto his back and pulls up his pant leg, sees nothing on his lower calf, and undoes his pant a bit to look at his thigh, where you see a new rune on the left side of his leg. His skin is almost blue instead of the normal purple, and it is cold to the touch. And on the other leg, he does the same thing and sees another rune, this one charred, and all of the hair on his legs standing up and on end. His mind races as a knot of dread sets low within his stomach as he realizes that something big must have happened to get two runes simultaneously. Zatari is going to get a couple of extra abilities, but I wanted to at least run through that.
One hell of a song of fire and ice.
Not
Okay.
fire, but and if anyone wants to, they can make an Arcana check.
I did
Davos did, yeah. He rolled an
Oh!
as he was going through it.
Damn. So you gather that the left leg is some type of ice, some type of frost magic. It is literally affected in temperature. The right doesn't seem to be burned from a fire as much as it seems electrocuted. You see Lichberg marks across his leg, and know that is something that is not uncommon for people to suffer as long-term effects of electric magic, both casters and victims alike. Yeah, I'll save it for when he is actually here to join us as to what it actually does. But
It was a nat 20.
you mean he hasn't done anything? You've assessed all you can from it. You gather
right.
that. I mean, they're in that same runic script that you've become familiar with, the giant runes. You don't know exactly what they say. These aren't runes that you're familiar with. It's not like the one on the back of his neck where he has something to reference or something that Lifferlas has pointed out to you. But he does have these two runes now lined on each side of his leg.
Ellie looks from the runes to Goldbrand's tattoos, and is that how you got yours?
I get mine.
Technically, you're born with
That's-
them as a Goliath. But you could
What?
have...
the markings.
Yeah, you were born with them, and they're
They're all over his face and stuff. That's true.
Yeah, and in your culture, they're almost seen as like your story written out in some unusual way.
Yeah.
Technically, as written, they don't get more tattoos. They see that as changing their fate, but I think that you would have some type of tattoos denoting you as First Claw or Starkeeper or stuff of that nature.
He says, "Eyes was born with most of them," and he holds up his hands. He says, "These were additions after achieving ranks in the tribes."
So
I had
with Devin's belief that you're born with them and getting new ones would change your fate, would he see this as Zatari's fate is changing? Like an unfolding in real time of his fate?
Goldbrand also had those put on his hand before he was aware of the idea of, I don't know. He didn't know about the path per se when those were put on his hands. So the giant runes freak him out. They're not Uthgar tribal looking shit, so he's like,
That's what I'm saying. Would you see that happening as like almost like a shit? What movie or show was that? I don't know. But as these keep popping up, like it's either a milestone or maybe.
well,
next step.
Goldbrand's kind of wondered if Zatari's not a liability. That would be his first thought.
Oh, rude.
You know, you're not even with these things anymore, and they're still putting marks on you. That's not good.
Well, and Zatari.
The same things happen to Tally.
Well, he was kind of sus of Tally too when that shit was happening. So he's like,
So Zatari, as you guys are discussing this, he says that no, you're right. The first two of these I was working on the Von and Dodd. I don't know. I assumed that it was some connection to that gave them to me. But the third one was after I had escaped, after I had fled from the giants and was miles and miles and miles away, as far away as I could get. And I still was burned again. And here I am, wondering what the connection is between me and this thing.
Somewhere someone's got a very small Zatari doll that they like to play with.
You think they brand a doll? That's pretty fucked up.
I think I've heard of this practice called like Fey'du.
They do. Somewhere Saphyne just shakes her head. Magically eavesdropping on your conversation. No.
oh wow.
She
Does
kidding.
Goldbrand think?
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no. This doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing now. I'll wait a second if we're not moving on.
I was gonna ask you guys, it is midnight. We could do one more of these things and knock it out fairly quickly. I will tell you that there's not much in the way of combat. So it'll be like this one where we could do about less than 30 minutes. But I will
Going to see the dragon.
That's up to you.
That's up to y'all. Goldbrand did want to know if he could see the stars from inside the cathedral. I know you said that the roof was made of branches.
You can't from inside, but if you head out to the front where the waterfall is, and you've gathered, now that you've arisen up to it, I should have described this. The waterfall actually seems to originate from the temple. There is a deep pool of water set in the center where the water seems to come up from the earth and make its way down this cliffside and out, and eventually to the ocean.
Goldbrand wants to prescient soon, but if we're gonna keep playing, I would rather do the dragon.
Okay.
Is that what's the closest one? I don't really know.
Kryptgarden Forest.
The dragon.
Is that okay? The dragon.
So that one. Let me look at this just so I know how many days we've traveled. It was 2 days to Shadowtop.
From the portal, yeah.
It is 7 more days back to Kryptgarden.
And we got to bring a flesh offering.
That's
Well,
what she recommended.
Icons hunts for games on the ways there's.
You guys make your way to the Kryptgarden Forest. Passing.
Goldbrand,
Sorry, go ahead.
I'll make however many rolls, or I'll do whatever you want me to do. But he wants to spend the whole time there trying to gather ingredients for healing potions.
Okay. Yeah. You're in a different biome than what I have prepped, so we'll do this through the week if that's okay. Okay.
Good.
I'll make a note.
I will too. Other than that,
Are we doing free time stuff?
You can, if you have something that you would like to do.
Tally, realizing the need for his bow and having snapped that insufficient arrow, is going to look for hardwoods and perhaps any materials to make like superior arrows.
Okay. Um,
And I will take his scrap and make another pick.
okay. I would say that
That's
given
cool.
you are in a very dense area of forest, you start to look around and examine the trees on the outside, and you hear Turlag. You be careful with that knife, boy. A lot of these things are older and wiser than you are. What are you doing anyway?
I have need of arrows.
Fine weapon. And you don't look like you notch a bow much. And he sort of, not glares, but, gives a pointed look to Davos.
I'm wicked good at music. Needed something to
Wicked
pluck my
good
old
at
strings, Piece of bark would suffice, I'm not chopping down any of your roommates, your uncles.
I am the uncle here, lad. No. He thinks for a moment, and he snaps off a finger, and he lowers it down to you. And you have a superior piece of wood, hard, gnarled.
Is it a finger pick?
It is a large chunk of wood. I mean, this is a finger of a thing that's 50 feet tall. I mean, this thing is like a decent-sized branch on a normal tree.
This is for the arrow, yeah?
You could, for both, it is a dark, hard wood, gnarled, not so much to where you can't carve from it or can't cut it, but it is difficult. I will do some poking around as far as making superior arrows.
Yeah, I mean, the intent is to just for bow upgrades in general.
I will look up some stuff on that because I don't want to get too breaky because you're ahead on the boon curve right now, but we'll look at that.
Would you say that arrow cuts like Aerglas?
It's
He
It's a,
smashes you.
Wow, we're really on it today.
yeah. It can be like super long form. It can be like a passion project, We can spend several free times developing whatever that is.
I'll look on that. Yeah.
Devin's very curious. He wants to offer bloodweed to oh god, forgot his name, to Treant.
Turlag.
Yeah.
Want to offer him bloodweed.
Yeah, in exchange for his piece of bark. Devin's kind of curious what
Oh.
Treant would do with bloodweed.
Okay. No, yeah. You can certainly you raise up this offering, and do you say anything with it as he goes back with four fingers?
This is, well, I would even imagine maybe as they're beginning to leave, he would hold out. He wouldn't, he would need to keep enough for himself, but he wouldn't give him a small portion by any means because it's a big ass tree. And he would say, "This is all I really have of values that is both of nature and not for violence. It serves me well when I am trying to find the paths." And he will offer up a brick of bloodweed, if you will.
A
Jesus.
brick? Wow. We're just going hard in the drug direction, aren't we?
I
Is
use
it
brick
wrapped
for,
in like cellophane or like?
Well, I picture he's got it in like a bag, like you would
Oh,
have,
yeah.
they have a bunch of packages and stuff.
You give him some and he holds it and he sort of like takes a deep breath.
Oh, he meant to tell him that this was a thanks for the
No, yeah.
for the information and for not like.
He takes a deep breath. Grown on the northern banks of the River Drussian. Picked midday. Nigh on a 10-day and a half ago. He takes a bit and consumes it, and bitter. Some of this picked too soon. And he gives you... You should pick closer to the stalk, son. Break it off, and wait till the bloodweed is not only red, but you see the deep, dark burgundy at the base of it. He gives you advice on harvesting that we're gonna say maybe gives you advantage on collecting bloodweed.
Well, that's
I'm gonna make a note of that.
Great.
I
None
was
of
just
that
curious.
last shit was planned. That just seemed like fun shit for a Trent to do with you guys. We're going to, unless you guys have anything else, we're gonna fast forward to Kryptgarden, and we'll try to make this quick and get you guys out by 12:30 Eastern.
Sound good?
12:30 California time.
I'm about to say, he does not mean Eastern.
All right, you guys make your way to the Kryptgarden Forest. Let me scroll up to the right section. Where the fuck am I? Here we go. As you make your way through Yatar, through Tribor, several days in your journey, as you exit Tribor, you come to the western edge of the forest. Excuse me, the eastern edge of the forest, and you know that this goes on for miles. Bergin, or Kant said this is the same forest that he initially met Kolkar in many, many years ago. Not many years ago, wow, many, many days ago. And as you make your way into the depths of the forest, you hear hoofbeats, and a centaur approaches. Not Kolkar, but a centaur nonetheless. Longbow, an arrow notched. Halt! There are no outsiders permitted within Kryptgarden Forest. For your sake as much as ours. What business have you within the forest?
Wish to speak to old Gnawbones.
Then you're practically dead already.
Then there shouldn't be problems with letting us pass.
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh no.
With advantage.
That was a joke.
And here we are.
Oh.
Oh! He does not think it's funny. Very
I
dry
think-
sense of humor, centaurs.
I wouldn't either.
He's the Atticans. You think you can merely march into our tribe's lands, speak to a being that has been around since before the dawn of our people, and just make your way through unabated?
Wouldn't that
mean,
make
we
it all
brought a-
Gnawbone's
we
land
brought a
then, not
deer.
your tribes?
Gnawbone keeps to the mountainous side of the land, boy. I'm mixing my accents.
Hmm?
Don't presume to know how we negotiate our space with the dragon.
Very well, then may we speak to Kolkar Shadowbanes. Oh, I guess he doesn't know his last name. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you guys talked for a few
It
days.
would have came up in conversation.
He raises his eyebrows a bit, and he doesn't lower his bow, but he loosens his grip on the arrow just a bit, and there pulls back the tautness on the string. Kolkar. And he looks you up and down. Follow me. And he leads you through the forest for another few hours. And eventually you come to it gets more and more dense. And he tells you, wait here. Gallops off into the forest. 20 minutes pass. 40 minutes pass. An hour. 2 hours. Before you once again hear the familiar clomp of hoofbeats as Kolkar Shadowbane approaches. Well, I never expected to see you boys again. What brings you back to me? I told you I'm not one for civilized living, as you might call it.
Ellie shrugs at a gold brand.
We seek an audience with old Gnawbones. We are hoping you can assist us.
No, yes, he sort of bites his lip and seems a little pensive. To be honest, I've been meaning to speak with her as well. In truth, my tribe did not take kindly to my leaving. While I was able to convince them that Nightstone is not destroyed, and that I had some hand in that, they still see it as an ominous sign. They see it as something unnatural, that has risked throwing the rest of our fortunes, in a manner of speaking, in jeopardy. It is not wise to try to rewrite the stars. And I've tried to plead with them that the stars are not something that are constant, that there are many reasons that the stars may flicker from existence. Eclipses, planetary alignments. There are many reasons that such things may change without spelling doom, and that we must be more open-minded in our interpretations. I will guide
The
you.
fucks.
What?
The fucks is a planets. That's like how I picture their like the difference between the way they do things. Like very learned and very not learned.
I love it, actually. That's beautiful. He almost starts to explain it. Well, what we're on right now is a planet. I imagine Gulbren. A forest? No. What this big rock that we're on? This is a rock underneath it? No. Let me try again. And you guys just go back and forth, but you get the idea that he's saying there are many moons out there around these stars. But that's the closest you can come to really comprehending it at the moment, anyway.
Too many hits of bloodweed. Just can't.
Gobran's not. I was about to say he's not super dumb, but he's not smart.
He's wise, but not intelligent. Y'all set up camp for the night, and you regale him with the tales of what you've accomplished thus far, and he is very impressed by your defending of Golden Fields, by your advancement into Shadowtop Cathedral, a place he has heard of, but never seen firsthand, as well as your adventures sealing the Fey Portal. He shudders, and similar to Goldbrand and Goldbrand's people, has a healthy superstition of things from the Feywild. Another 2 days pass as you make your way further and further into the wood, traveling very slowly as you're navigating this dense, difficult terrain. You begin to know that something is off, and you can't quite place your finger on it, before you realize that while earlier you had heard birds chirping, animals gnawing, eating, hunting, gathering,
Oh,
bugs chirp. Do you have a thing?
I mean, is this still? Are we still on the rest or on the way to the?
You're on
to
the way.
dragon? Okay, so yeah, he wants to ask Taliban to help him kill a thing
Kill a
to
thing.
offer as a flesh offering.
Okay.
would
I will say with little difficulty between you, Tally, and Kolkar, that you actually find 2 deer that you execute rather swiftly, and you are able to collect. Kolkar advises that Gnawbone likes her food whole, and other than removing your arrows, you do your arrow / knife / meteor. That you don't do anything else. While you guys have heard the chattering of animals throughout the woods, you've noticed that it's grown eerily quiet. You all get a little tense as you sort of realize this simultaneously, and you begin to hear the distant noise of thunderous, loud footsteps, trees snapping and crunching. As suddenly, an enormous serpentine head bursts through the tree line. An Uthgard barbarian corpse within its jaw, as its mouth, almost like a cow chewing cud, just grinds down on this fleshy body. You can hear bones snap, flesh tear, blood dripping from this long-dead Uthgard.
It is not often that such tender offerings wander so willingly. It steeped into my forest.
Jeez.
I can imagine.
Giant,
Good answer.
yellow, slitted eyes slowly blink at you.
I suggest you get to the point. before.
I means we. Oh well. I'm assuming we've laid down the deer.
You at this point you
Yeah.
lower the deer off of your backs, which she looks at approvingly, and from beneath her neck, a long clawed arm grabs the corpses and pulls them back. Doesn't put them in her mouth yet, but has collected them.
Does Kolkar recognize the corpse? He just wants to know if it's a blueberry. If it's not a blueberry, he's not going to worry about it.
Roll a perception check.
Oh.
Meta-wise, I can't remember why we're looking for the dragon.
She can tell us
Dang.
about giants.
All right.
22. It is definitely an Uthgar. It is not a blue bear. With a 22, I would say.
It's your mother.
I was about to say, it doesn't
That's-
really
that's
matter.
about
Just want to
right.
make sure it wasn't a blue bar.
This is a Grey Wolf barbarian.
Oh.
Not a tribe that you've encountered, not one near your people, known to wander the lands more north of here. It's a little curious, but perhaps that's why he was picked off by this dragoness. You've presented your offerings. Do you say anything? Do you...
Let's say last
We're
time
looking
Kolkar.
for a little information.
Yeah.
Information. On what precisely?
How to kill giants.
Drop them
Oh.
from 1,000 feet.
Any non-dragon techniques?
Not my expertise.
I mean, from what I've heard of green dragons, you guys are pretty wise. Surely you must know something that could help us. No offense.
So Naxine told you that they're not the brightest. Roll a deception check.
Oh yeah, charisma for the win.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's smooching this dragon.
Okay, you got lucky, son. You hear like not a purr, but a lighter growl from deep within this dragon's throat that you can't even see the full body of. Right now, it's just you see a shoulder, the one claw that came forward, the neck, which Goldbrand, you realize now you've seen this before. This was a vision of your prescience that happened when Tally struck you with his psi knife. It induced this particular moment. And you recognize it. And again, it's odd. A lot of your visions are interpretive, metaphorical, some literal. But when you see things, it's not usually from your perspective. The crossroads was one instance where it was from your perspective. And this is another. And it's a little curious.
Assume that you seek an end to the madness that has struck the giants as of late.
Yeah, see, you get it.
I was afraid she would know that. Devin thought maybe they could barter information.
If you reading your body language, she
Will find there is much that I am well tuned into. For the information that you seek, you should exercise caution. There are unseen players in this war, and you have already affronted many of them.
Because that's not ominous.
You must
Sounds
head
like
north. There's a temple to the giants near the valley of Kedron. There, you will learn what must be done to end the giant menace.
Sorry.
She knew the thing. Oh.
Hmm?
Nothing. That's not what. Well, don't know what I expected to hear, but that wasn't that.
Yeah.
Kolkar sort of steps forward. Old Gnawbone, I must admit that this is not the first time that I have seen you and your terrible beauty. I once saw you within these woods, meeting with a giantess. Did not speak the language, but I seek to know why she sought you out.
Can I, like, very discreetly, like, hand on the hilt of the sword?
To threaten her? To...
No, like, it sounded like, hey, you were meeting with this giantess. What was that about? Like, oh, shit. Or unless I just misinterpreted the...
About to say, the whole group's hackles go bloop.
I will say that Bergin has heard this, because he traveled with Kolkar for a few days before Nightstone. And Kolkar had shared with Bergin that he had once seen old Gnawbone meeting with a giantess in the woods, speaking in this language that he did not understand. That the giantess had appeared within the woods, and old Gnawbone had rushed upon her. Did not seem pleased with her. And while he doesn't know precisely what was said, he feels like there was no bargain made, but that there was some point of contact. Old Gnawbone's scales, starting at the back of her head and sort of ruffle a little bit all the way down the length of her neck as she glares at him. And to give you a little bit of an idea of what you boys
Did anyone
are...
else just lose his audio?
Oh, can you hear me?
It's showing the mute icon.
Oh, fuck.
There it is.
Sorry.
There you go.
How much of that did you not hear?
The last like 2 sentences.
Okay, so not a whole lot. So you heard what Bergin had heard, yes?
Yeah. The scales flicked
Okay.
all the way to the
Okay,
back.
gotcha.
And
I dropped a picture of her in chat, by the way, so you could have an idea of this bitch.
then magnanimous.
Wait a second, that's Venom Fang.
Yeah,
That
they
is
didn't have a
Venom Fang.
picture for her, so I just had to use another green dragon.
I put one in chat that's MTG art. That's old Gnawbone
Oh,
specifically.
yeah. I forgot that they have that. Let me look
Sorry,
at that. 'Cause
I'm a
curious.
fucking nerd.
No, you're fine.
No, you're a nerd.
Doesn't really... I mean, I guess that is pretty big. Like, I'm looking at the stuff in the background trying to get a scale on her.
Yeah, that's like I said, that's MTG art. It's not exactly the world's best. Like,
Gotcha. The dragon, 2 plumes of green gas sort of exude from her nostrils as her scales ruffle.
The dragoness. Excuse me. The giantess was ambitious. Had attempted to recruit me to her cause. I don't know exactly what she seeks to accomplish, but I know it will be disastrous for your kind.
Giantess
you
of the
said
Cloud
no?
Giants.
She chuckles, or the best that she can. Doesn't say anything.
That was to me or Tally?
To Tally, I didn't hear what you said if you asked something or said something.
I said, and you said no? Because they asked if Gnawbones would join their cause.
She said that
Yeah.
that the woman sought to recruit her.
Right.
And that
But she didn't say.
Yeah, she you gather from that she was not happy to see this force and that she did not align herself with them.
Okay.
Any other questions for old Gnawbone?
What
What
kind
if
of
you? Oh, God.
what kinds of giants was this that approached its use?
To relay that would make me, would garner me a powerful enemy that I do not seek.
Checks. Checks.
Maybe like charades or something? Or if we guess it, will you say yes or no? Or...
She
Yikes.
rises up a little
That's
higher,
close.
and you
Okay,
you gather now. She is massive. Some of you may have. None of you have really had much experience with dragons. Some of you have seen them from a distance and gathered that they are large creatures, but she in particular, as Maxine had told you, is ancient. She is
Gargantuan.
quite
literally.
enormous. Her head now rears well above the trees as she looks down on you. Her one claw sort of knocking over 3 or 4 trees as to clear her view. Her wings arising a little bit, and you gather that she is about to take flight. If you have anything to ask, now is the time.
I got nothing. Hashtag please don't kill me.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think Goldbrand's gonna keep his mouth shut too. Yeah.
She told us
Kolkar
where to go.
Kolkar will ask her, do you believe that this giantess is seeking out other dragons? And she doesn't say anything, but her head dips just a bit. With the mighty beat of her wings, she is in the air and gone.
If dragons were to allies with the giants, the small folks would be doomed. Well, Goldbrand's-
Not-
he's talking to
we're not-
himself. Yeah.
Kolkar
We're not doomed already.
Kolkar nods in agreement. I am worried by this. The giants and the dragons are old enemies. They killed countless members of each other's sides. I don't understand why a giantess would think it even a possibility that a dragon would align with her.
Would the ordning being shattered change something between?
It shouldn't.
Kolkar probably didn't know exactly.
Oh, that's
what-
right. Yeah, he's
what
not
was it?
he's not in on this.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I was about to say he wasn't at Sephiroth's tower.
Yeah. Zatari sort of go, well, I mean, I don't think that would change anything. I mean, they're still pissed at each other as all shit, right? I mean, maybe the giantess thought she could get a leg up for her people. I can't make heads or tails of it.
Or what if it's a trap? They were like, hey, dragons, you guys come on our side. We're going to kill all the small people just to turn on them easier.
If Valkyr were here,
Wonders
he
if-
would agree.
I don't think
I-
anyone. I don't think anyone wants to be against the dragons in this situation.
I
Fair.
completely agree.
I wonders if the Countess Cloud Giants that Sephiroth mentioned to us is the same as the giantess that the dragons spoke of.
Well, she did chuckle when I suggested as much.
Kolkar,
That's true.
and this is tricky because this was supposed to be part of his whole thing. He knows a little bit more about this. Hang on.
So he saw her, right?
He did, and I'm trying to see. The woman was blue-skinned, wearing intricate blue and purple robes. They spoke in Draconic. Perhaps the giantess thought that might gain her some leverage.
A
That's all
blue
he-
giantess wearing robes.
Is that Cloud or Frost?
You recall that Zephyros was not blue.
Yeah.
You recall that the
So-
Frost Giants were blue.
I'm thinking Winter Queen.
In the form of a giantess? Mm-hmm. Oh well. All's wells.
Oh, he does tell you one more thing. No. Never mind, I'm sorry.
Wells? That's could have gone much worse.
You're damn right
Speak
there.
for yourself. I'd shit my pants.
At least you still have
Oof.
legs to have pants. Like, I mean, you could have. Kolkar like shudders a little bit. To be honest, I don't think those things are dead when she starts gnawing on them.
I think
Those
you might be right.
things.
Talking about
The
the
Uthgard.
Uthgard within her mouth. It wasn't dead when she
Yeah.
started.
Started? Oh. Dragons be dragons.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah, but I mean, you gather that she's known for this. Old Gnawbone is her title, after all. Her real name is Caligula.
Caligula.
Yeah, not
I saw that
Caligula,
earlier.
but
Clagilimatar. I can't even say that.
that's about right. Let me look at it.
Yeah, the clavicle. dragon.
Clagilimatar. I think that's right.
What?
I
yeah,
got you.
it's-
I'm topping it out. I'm assuming that's probably how her name's said in Draconic, but not that we
Yeah.
even know any of that. But
Clagilimatar.
I forgot they have Draconic names.
No, yeah. And Naxine mentioned this, that dragons have titles as well as names. Many dragons are known. Many
'Cause
dragons
didn't
keep their names secret. Many dragons, don't share that because names can be used by powerful forces. And sometimes titles are what people name them, what they name themselves. Sometimes they are what other dragons come to know them as after certain deeds.
I was about to say, don't you tell us about her?
What?
Yeah, okay. She did tell us about Cloth. I don't see her mention his title, so I won't talk about it.
No, yeah. Gotta calm down on your meta bus.
So, Waterdeep?
We can knock out Waterdeep real quick if you guys would like. It would be
No,
less
I just
than
meant-
10 minutes,
I meant
but
next
that's the next
session.
destination, yeah.
I think we should take a little more time to do that. Maybe start it next week because we need to pick up some healing potions. We have a lot of money. There will be magical items shops and
Yeah, I
stuff
feel like
in
Waterdeep
Waterdeep.
is
Like,
longer than 10 minutes.
yeah, we have to talk to G's family, which may or may not. He said something about collecting inheritance, so might get even more money.
I like that.
To Waterdeep next week.
Yes.
Next week on
Oh, wait.
Storm
So
King's
next
Thunder.
week is like Christmas Eve, yeah?
Oh, yeah, next week is Christmas Eve.
I thought Christmas Eve was. Oh yeah, it's on Saturday. Today's
Christmas
Friday.
is on Saturday, Christmas Eve.
So that's not going to work for me.
Okay, I was about to say, I mean, I
'Cause we,
could make it, but
celebrate.
I'm down for not. We can do one of two things. We can meet on Thursday instead, or we can just take the week off.
I'd venture to say I won't be able to join Thursday either.
Okay.
My family's coming in town and I work that day, so
I'm trying to think. I'll put it in chat. If we can get 4, I'll say, then we'll do one Thursday. If not, then we'll just wait. The week after is New Year's Eve. On Friday.
I was gonna say I think I'm out for that one too.
Yeah, also have plans.
I have work.
I'll put it out for. If we can meet on Thursday for either week, I'd be happy. I'd prefer not to go 2 weeks without missing a session, but say la vie. I could catch
Tis
up with
life.
some prep. Yeah. But
I think last year we ended up with like 4 or 5 sessions back to back after the new year. It's just those 2 weeks are kind of rough.
no, yeah. But with that, we'll go ahead and draw a close to tonight's session. Hope you boys had fun meeting dragons and Trents and Fey and bullshit.
Yes, yeah.
Y'all covered a
as
good bit of
well.
ground. This is about what I thought you guys would do. I thought you'd have one more little thing, but y'all got through the majority of it. And we started 30 minutes late. We ended 30 minutes late, so it worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
All right. I will shoot some stuff in chat about trying to meet on Thursday. If not, no big deal. You guys will be arriving back at Nightstone soon, and we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about. I will also do some digging about the ingredients that you would have found in the forest and the superior arrows. We'll look at doing some stuff with that. If there's anything else you guys think of, let me know. Otherwise,
As
you
I
have
said,
to-
do we want to?
6?
what, Devin?
Are we at level 6? Sorry, he distracted me.
No, you're not. You're close,
Not yet?
but not quite. Yeah.
So I just wanted to verify that he's searching for ingredients all 7 days, like from the time they leave Shadowtop to the time they get to Kryptgarden.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? Like, cause
Yeah.
he knows they're kind of low.
Yeah, and I could what you gather
yeah,
on the way
like-
back, I could kind of get for you, but what you actually find in the Kryptgarden and in Shadowtop, that's a different biome than what I have like prepped. Not prepped, but what I have like on command.
The idea was he was trying to make some before we got there because he was scared of the dragon. But that's over with
No,
now.
yeah.
So
You
not
also
as big
had
of a deal.
potions of poison resistance that you could have used, but
Forgot.
you got scared.
Yep.
But with that, my dudes, love you guys. Hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year if I do not see you before then. Take care of yourself, love one another, and is it Friday yet? Is it the new year yet? Is it 2022 yet? Goddamn, please. All right. Later, dudes.
Preach.
Later.
See you later.